Oh, I see.
Montep. Stefan Dog. You know what it is when you hear that?
Breakfast in bed, darling. I got your bed falling. I make you bed for you. I make you bed for you. Breakfast in bed, darling. I got your bed falling. I made mistakes, you done me wrong, but now you leave me calling.
Welcome to Axe to Grind, episode 6. The voice of the culture, 97 minutes, commercial free. What do you want to?
Something like that.
My name's Patrick.
Tom. And this is Bob.
Format of the podcast, if you're new here, is really simple. We talk hardcore. And when we do that, we announce our biases by saying we got an axe to grind. That's how we preface anything that is not fully... That's the subtext. That's how we announce subtext.
Right, that's not related to artistic merit.
And so, for all of you who are complaining that we haven't been grinding enough axes, we got a couple. We're going to pry a couple today.
Damn.
I'm going to pry yours. I know you got one. So,
shit.
we'll pull it out.
Okay. So, let's talk... hold on. We might have a tech issue.
This is mute. Okay. No, I think you're good.
Do you have an agenda today, or are we going to launch in? What
No,
you want to do?
you know what? There's a lot of new stuff. Let's go new stuff first. Well, first, we haven't been around. How is Los Angeles, Patrick?
Okay, I traveled to Los Angeles, where Self Defense Family opened for Touche Amore on their 1,000th show. It was way funner than I anticipated. Not because I anticipated it was going to be dog shit. Touche always is good to us, and it's a good time just to see them. But we were playing some stripped down versions of songs nobody's heard. So I want you to think about songs that nobody can sing along with to start, and then we are doing the low. We're doing it. It wasn't sexy. It wasn't sexy. So I thought it was going to go over like shit, and went over like shit plus. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, and then got to do my little path of resistance. For people at home that don't give a shit about my bands, Self Defense Family did a collaborative record with Touche Amore. Their best songs for sure. There's two singers on. There's two everything. It's an incredibly dense bunch of things happening. But I love multi-singer bands, and they are seen as tacky, and they are seen as stupid.
Yeah, stop, pause. What multi-singer bands do you like, since you like them?
I love Path of Resistance.
Okay, one.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's give me plural.
Well, I don't
you
know.
said plural.
No, pause. I don't know. Give me any of those.
No redeeming social value.
Nah, I wouldn't go that
Lion
far.
ass liar. You like Path of Resistance,
no, but,
and that's it.
No, because...
Did they set your goals as two singers?
I listen.
I feel like there was a man of large carriage like myself.
I think there were two.
The only reason I know that to be true is because I had it confirmed recently that they were offered a good deal if they lost the fat guy.
Yes, they
and
were.
refused to lose the fat guy.
Yes,
Respect.
Respect. That's what I said.
That's
Big
what I'm
respect to
saying.
those dudes. Those dudes went and did their thing.
I mean,
And the other singer kind of looks like you.
let's not be mean.
No.
But
No, I think he does. You guys are both.
Pat's a little taller. Give him credit.
I'm a little more handsome too.
That's
Fuck.
true. That's true. No, you're right.
He's a good kid. I mean,
No axe to grind.
No axe to grind.
Back to the point.
All right, sorry.
Back to the point.
You like Path of Resistance.
I like Path of Resistance, but I also like. Give me some anarcho.
Nausea or some
yeah,
shit?
exactly. I was just gonna say, give me some anarcho shit. I'm good with. I like two singers. Give me three singers. You know what I mean?
Why
not?
Fight everyone?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's your
why
shit.
not?
That's your
Why
shit.
not?
Hey, Code Orange is like 4.
Well,
3.
they wouldn't cop to that. But they do.
Sure.
Well, and actually,
Take a drink. Code Orange.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So
Sorry, 1%.
Yeah. So we're also going to talk at some point.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay. About our predilection for talking about the 1% of hardcore.
Was this your first time playing these songs live with them?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
First time those songs have ever been played live. We butchered one, but the other one came out real hot.
So both bands played together, or did you just come out with two?
No. Two drummers, the whole shit. It was a lot of room to fuck things up.
I've got no room for two drummers.
I love two drummers.
Path of Resistance. Two drummers.
No, honestly, if you could get rid of all cymbals, make a drum set just toms and bass drum, and have two of them, I'm the happiest person in the world. That's
So you like Sepultura?
I do. I do.
Okay, so how is Touche Amore?
So a little known fact about Touche is that Okay, so Touché I don't think has any haters anymore, right? They're a long-lived...
No, I think they're done.
Yeah.
The haters have...
The haters have moved on to different parts of life.
Yes.
And, but so no haters, but maybe there's people that just don't give a shit, right? I'd imagine that's a lot of people. Maybe some young kids, maybe the old heads.
That's every band.
Right,
Yeah.
that's true. But, so Touché I don't think has haters, but they have some neglectors. And I would tell the neglectors, this is a good live act. You know what I mean? Like,
always has been, yeah.
You can say whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to listen to those records, but that is a good live act. And
They're a hardcore band live.
yeah, they are 100%.
Yeah.
Yo, what, I mean, the records.
The Stage 4 record's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the new one?
The newest.
Okay, so let's talk about real quick
okay.
about that. I was asked about that, and it is to me a band that damaged their career because they saw very little growth on going to a much larger label.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And like their management company is like fucking
Yeah, they're tied in.
It's big.
It's big. So they had everything kind of lined up in a cool way to break big, and they did a highly personal album about a subject that nobody under 30 wants to think about.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This
That's
is
a new record.
This is the last
Stage
record.
4. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about his mother's passing,
Yeah.
and it is a thing that no kid, rightfully,
It's fucking brutal.
no kid wants to think about. And like, so as much as somebody may admire the notion of the record,
Absolutely.
it's a hard listen.
Absolutely.
And also the musicianship was a step up, which not everybody is always interested in.
Production's a step up.
Yeah.
Vocals, he's doing some new things, and dude can sing a little bit on
Yep.
that. And he's a dude who, for the music they play, he's got that gravel voice, you know. So, which was their signature.
Yep.
And I think they pivoted well. A lot of people tell me this record, light years better than the one before, the second album, a third album rather, because this is their fourth album.
One of them is
There's
one of them might be an EP or some shit. But
whatever. But it's I've been told that the Parting the Sea and then this one. So, but I think we're losing listeners here because I don't think people care about Touché in our listenership. If you do, cool. If you don't, take a listen because I think, especially for you fucking old dudes who didn't check them out because you thought they were too wussy or whatever. Yo, they're an intense live band. Those dudes have been doing this for a while, and that singer Jeremy, like,
yo, not for nothing, his
Credo.
voice crushes. Like he does his. He's a screamo dude, front and center, scrammo man, but like he has a brutal fucking voice when he wants to.
I'm gonna put a hammer on that because he is that because he likes all that stuff. But this is a dude I think I met because he was like going off for some straight edge band, like The First Step or something. But at the time, dude had swoosh hair and didn't give a fuck.
Listen,
and was still into hardcore. Like that dude knows his shit.
I said this on stage. I've never met anybody in my life who. Tom, you're close because you're open-minded, but like I've never met anybody in my life who actually gets psyched for music the way Jeremy does. Like
that's sweet. Even to this point,
even now, when
1,000 shows in,
you can't get me. You can't get me to watch an opening band if you have a gun on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you walked me to the side of the stage and said, "Watch this band, or I'm going to shoot you in your gut,"
you're taking a bullet.
I'd say, you know what, gut. You know,
let's go.
So anyway. The dudes in Touché, great dudes. La Dispute played, which that's, to be totally frank and fair, that's not my thing. But it's their first show back in like years.
Yeah.
So it was a big deal. Place was packed out.
And that band's bad, right? La Dispute is bad.
Well, here's the deal. I haven't heard 3 records that they've done.
I've only heard that one song that's the big song, The Small Hands. They're like, hey, there's tweens doing renditions of this.
So let me get...
But people clarify. They say, Touché good, La Dispute bad.
Well, no.
Give me the Screamo. You guys are more...
I think it's different. I didn't really give them a fair shot, to be honest with you. It came on in the car one day with my buddy. I was like, this is really good. The difference is, La Dispute, I feel like they write... Their lyrics are a full story. Nothing repeats. There's no chorus. It's just there.
Okay.
Like, Jeremy writes a catchy ass song.
He wrote a song, though.
This dude is just like, here's, 4 paragraphs worth of prose over
music. Okay.
Scrams me. I actually enjoyed it.
Okay.
Don't kids sing along anyway, which blows my mind.
No
There's
lyrics.
nothing.
Yeah, it's like, but then again, I know every Earth Crisis lyric, and he's talking about the anthropocentric falsehood that maintains.
But it's catchy. There's like a rhythm to it.
So there's definite rhythm. We can talk. I know. We'll get into Bob's hateration.
Earth Crisis.
We'll get into his hateration
most
later.
important band in the 90s.
I'm with you.
And I won't argue that.
Hold on.
There's no
All right, we are all over the place.
So let's
so
get back.
excited to be back.
Let's get back to Touche. Were they good?
Yeah.
Was the reaction good? Because I don't care what you think.
Yeah, of course. Their crowd, whether or not the people in this room have heard La Dispute or like La Dispute, the crowds cross over significantly.
Yes.
So it was a fun time for everybody.
Good.
Like, it was cool. It was just a cool show. I was happy for everybody. So we got a day sheet that informed us that Touche were playing for 2 hours.
Holy shit.
And and we laughed at these motherfuckers. I didn't. Okay, so when
Did they play for 2 hours?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
They didn't. They played for like an hour and 15 or something, right?
Which is still a long time.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
For a band with 3-minute songs, 2-minute songs, 1-minute songs?
True.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That was like, I think they probably played like 35 songs, and it was fucking crazy. But to the people that were about it, they were about it.
Yeah, there's no walls, I'm sure.
Right. So it was a fun time. I legitimately, we got to talk. This is a separate. We can bring this up at the end of the podcast. I'm ready, world. I'm ready for my hardcore band. At age 59, I am ready for my hardcore band.
So I saw,
because I killed it.
I saw like, I didn't even watch the full video, but you tweeted it, and I watched like 15 seconds.
Dude looked like
aggressive.
Aggressive. Super aggro.
Now, was Jeremy toning it down so you could get your shot?
I'm almost sure, yeah.
I think so.
He was doing my parts because on the record, I'm the high pitch guy and he's the brutal guy. But I'd blown my throat out singing, doing our set.
Lioness liar! You just wanted to do it.
Yeah,
you wanted to get your rage.
You wanted your DJ Rose on.
I was DJ Rose in it. Okay, so fun time, yes.
And so, real quick,
Yes.
you like that new Touche record, Stage 4?
Yeah.
As a dude who likes hardcore, whatever, what somebody who's never heard it sell to them?
I mean, it's mid 90s like actual like emo, like screamo, like it's really well written. It's as an older dude into hardcore, it's the theme to it is pretty. It's appropriate.
Salient.
Yeah,
Relevant, right?
and just reading the lyric, it's a brutal listen. And like you said, like going to a larger label and kind of having all these things, it's whatever. It's like that kind of Lincoln, Hoover, or whatever.
Going into You and I and all that stuff.
Give it a shot.
All right, so I think that's cool, and we're going to touch on something because, one, you said something I really think is cool. Hardcore records, hardcore music, the sound can be really different. This is a fucking malleable thing.
Yeah.
Some of that heaviness doesn't always have to be in the music. It'll be in the content, or the lyrics, and this and that. So I think a lot of times now, I was listening to Harm's Way a lot on the drive-in, and it's just heavy. And so I think there's got to be room for that appreciation. And if you don't check that stuff out, that's all right. If you get scared of that content, or it's just too heavy for you, think about why you're listening to this. Two, the label thing for them. I think it's going to come up more because we're talking about a bunch of new records that are either out now or coming out really soon. That move, they didn't. It doesn't seem like now they had the bus stops in LA,
Right
but
now,
I don't think it pushed them anywhere.
So the Epitaph signings of like whatever that was 3-4 years ago didn't seem, and I'm speaking for a lot of people that I don't have the right to speak for. I'd have to check their balances, but it didn't seem to break the way that people wanted to.
No.
And sometimes that happens. Now, let's transition to a conversation about Harm's Way. Are we good with that?
Yeah, let's do it. Sure.
Okay. So Harm's Way, new records out on Metal Blade, which
Post-Human?
Post-Human.
I like that.
Yeah, I like the cover too.
I like the cover too. Some people were hating on it, but we'll get into that.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the art.
So, Metal Blade is kind of a unique label in some respects.
Yeah.
It's always had its detractors, but has also put out some classic material. So it's kind of a desirable label if you're into history, and it is also undoubtedly a metal label, which means still, even in 2018, a step up visually and financially from
even the biggest hardcore.
Yes, even the biggest
Sure.
hardcore.
And people love to have that, have that on the back of their record, just like the Revelation Star.
Yeah, exactly. So for people,
Right, Bob?
so for people at home who listen to this just because you like our personalities or whatever.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know what the hell you're hearing.
Yeah, no,
sure.
but rate it on iTunes. Give it. But anyway,
5 stars.
Killing it.
oh, nice.
More of them. Thank you.
So if you're that person and you're kind of there's some hardcore history that you're maybe not aware of or whatever, since Revelation has transitioned into what would you call it?
Distro?
Well, yeah, like a catalog, a 90% catalog label. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, so 90% catalog label for the people at home. That means that their interest isn't putting out new music, even though they do. It is
shifting GB shirts.
It's kind of.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You guys want to talk Rev? We can, but
no. I just want to point out that it is, as Tom noted, for a certain kid, getting a Revelation star on the back of their record is the biggest thing.
Big
and to metal kids,
Metal Blade's right there.
You could say Metal Blade is
if
right
not, I mean, and so
Media, Metal Blade.
So a friend of mine called it, and funny, he calls it, especially this recent move of stuff, Century Metal Blade Runner, because he groups those all together. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I understand. Now, I don't think Century Media holds the same prestige that Metal Blade does. I think Metal Blade, of those three, holds it. But they all three, Century Media, Metal Blade, and Roadrunner, have things that if you are into that more heavy side of music, just in general, not hardcore, but just heavy music that encompasses metal, hardcore, industrial, whatever.
It's not just a look; it's a stamp of confidence that you have wanted since you were a kid, possibly.
Right. And so everybody, and I hope people understand that. I'm looking at Metal Blade, and they haven't put a lot of stuff out that I care about in a long time. But you go back, they've put out ultimate metal releases,
right? And something for the more professional listeners is a lot of us that are coming exclusively from hardcore music are thinking with our hearts when we make these decisions. We're not business people, so a lot of times people's draw to these labels is their history with it.
Yeah. Right. So for me, this is a good one because of Rev, signing bands to Rev. Now, I know for a fact when I started working with Rev, I did end up signing some bands, but that a few of the bands that worked with me, they liked me. They liked what I had to say. They liked my angle on things, and that was cool.
But love that star.
Love that star.
Sure.
Now, you guys weren't one of them.
No.
But there were others who I didn't work with who loved the star, had another offer, and, like anything, signing a band is a relationship, and I used to go into it kind of like, all right, so what are you looking for? Because here's what I can offer. And we were so not on the same level.
Yeah.
They're looking for this, tour support,
video budget, whatever.
And I'm like, hey man, awesome. You guys are doing a cool thing. I hope you guys do well. And I got the, wait. I mean, we could probably be flexible. What you said you can do. We can probably try to make that work. I said, just stop right there. Because I'm not going to really start a relationship with you only meeting your expectations 70%. I know you but they wanted it because they like that star so much.
Right. They'll end up resenting the label.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. And that I was able to avoid that almost entirely because I wanted to be clear about that. And I think to their credit, they've done a good job as they've moved forward and continue releasing new records. It's kind of setting the tone of who they are. But when you get to these labels, Metal Blade, Century Media, Roadrunner, they still have big mindsets, and I think bands go there not only for the label and what it is, the logo. They look for that bigger exposure point. They look for some of these bigger opportunities, and we're sort of seeing it right now unfold. Some of them are hitting that and catching, Code Orange. I think they have done something with the Roadrunner thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think a lot on their own back, but I can't say that Roadrunner hasn't helped them. It seems like Roadrunner. I don't think Code Orange is putting a billboard up in Times Square by themselves.
Right, but they were on that trajectory. From that
correct. I think that was on their own. I think a lot of that is their own sweat equity. Harm's Way, getting right back to them. I'm seeing the band push that record. I don't know, and I'm not keyed in. I'm not looking at decibel. But is this a bigger look for them right now?
They're selling out shows on this tour so far, which they haven't before.
So, Harm's Way, this is not, you tell me if it's an axe to grind, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to start in on Harm's Way.
It's not a personal thing.
No, not at all, but it is
Go for it.
So, I had to realize with this new record that Harm's Way is never going to be what I want Harm's Way to be.
Yes.
And that is a thing that, like, for example, I play music. I'm happy when people like it, but when they don't, if I did a good record and you don't like it, fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. And because I met my own sensibilities.
Yes.
And Harm's Way, I have to imagine, is meeting their own sensibilities with this new record, because this new record is really like a very intense distillation of what they actually are.
Yes.
Right?
And it's a culmination of all that kind of coming together.
So because I was the one in the room least familiar with them, because I heard them early on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they came first or Weekend Nachos came first.
Weekend Nachos came first, but there's a lot of intermittent.
Right. And I kind of, I associate. Weekend Nachos never did it for me, even though I am kind of more into that kind of stuff. I like power violence. I like a lot of fast hardcore, the like punk shit.
Did you ever hear them do those Weezer covers?
No.
You hate Weezer. Sorry.
I hate
Do you hate Weezer?
No, I'm indifferent. It's fine.
Incredibly well done.
Really? I believe it.
Totally. Sorry.
So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do the deeper dive. I knew we were going to talk about it. And I could hear what they were doing. And it's not my thing, not my world. But some of it's really well executed. And what my takeaway was, and this new record is really, like, I listened to the record on Closed Casket,
Isolation, yeah.
Isolation.
I would argue that's their best prior to this new one.
Right, and I think that's...
Where does
then,
Rust fit in that whole...
Below both of these ones.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. And I listened to Rust, and I'm like, I just didn't... I think they were missing the mark. I didn't like the production as much. I don't know what it was. I don't love their production just in general, just to speak on it. I don't want to be a hater. But it was dark. It sounded like, to me, Hatebreed fans who heard a From Ashes Rise record and went heavier.
Okay.
And... but some of the guitar sound was a little flat. But to me, what it really sounded like was, this band is doing what Knock Loose wish they were doing, but Knock Loose is 5 times bigger than them?
5 times, yeah.
And I was like, why does Knock Loose have these things, but Harm's Way doesn't? Because they do it, and they do it, they craft it, it's really well put together.
Yeah, I think they sound exactly what they look like. Harm's Way.
Oh, okay.
I feel like they're an amalgam of, like, if you looked at them just in a window and didn't know anything about them.
That's true.
You're like, put this band together. You'd be like, singer sounds like this.
Yeah.
Music's kind of weird. That dude's got a Joy Division shirt on.
We've got one guy with dyed black hair.
Right, and now,
yeah.
To me, that goes to Pat's point of them not being what you want them to be, because I think when you look at them, what do you want them to be?
Okay, so I want Harm's Way to have songs. And that's a personal bias that is becoming more apparent as I get older, right? Like, I didn't think that my interests in music were calcifying. In fact, I thought they were expanding. But I need motherfucking songs.
Something to remember.
I do.
A melody, a chorus.
And Harm's Way, I think at this juncture, are exceptional at being heavy. I think they are getting, they're reaching that nexus where it's like they're going to be left with a decision if they want to try to go any heavier, which is this puts us in a different world in a different light if we attempt to go any heavier, and it's a conscious decision that we're going to be playing in front of different people, and I'm not mad at that either. But so Harm's Way so for comic book fans, sorry, there's dudes like Brandon Graham who are about as talented artists as you're going to find.
Yes,
and have been pursuing their singular path. And expressing themselves fully for a decade or more. And whenever I read that man's material, I say, why didn't you get yourself a writer?
Right.
You know what I mean? You're such a brilliant artist. Why didn't you Mike Allred, the same thing, Frank Cho, all these guys who are brilliant, but perhaps could use some sort of...
Their visual storytelling far surpasses their narrative.
100%. And here's the deal, is I want to shake these guys.
Yes.
But they'd shake me right back and say, I'm doing exactly what I want.
Right. And I think that you're right. I think Harm's Way is doing exactly what they want. I wish I knew more about guitar sound, because the tone, whatever their tuning is on those records, hits me so flat, and it just doesn't have... It's heavy, but in a non-deep way. So we're talking about them. The record, I think the cover art isn't doing them any service. I think it's cool, but I think...
But if you saw that in a record store, you didn't know who they were.
Right. I don't think, and I think the people they need to be attracting are the Metal Blade people. People who are like
Right,
people who are seeing
walking-
that twitching tongues art and go, "That's cool, that's my shit."
Yeah.
These people are seeing this White Album art, and I think they did it intentionally.
It could be a DJ. It could be anything.
Absolutely, it could
Yeah.
be dance music, whatever. I think they did it intentionally, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I think it's missing the mark as far as like, oh, what do you want to hit? And that's cool because I think they're fucking owning it and going, yeah, fuck you. That's what we're gonna do.
This will come up 40 times in our time doing a podcast together.
Yes.
But Sick of It All blames the art on yours truly for bad sales.
MPB toured with them on that record. It's a good record.
I think it's actually better than some of the ones that get the recognition for being good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's the cover is horrendous.
Sure. I mean, bad cover art hurts a record.
Right. So you would
significantly.
never they were on Fat Records. They were
Yeah,
out there,
absolutely.
touring. Like that was when
right.
they were still really drawing really well in the States, and it was really good. That record.
That's right. What's the record before that?
Built to Last is before that, right?
No,
there's
it
one in
was,
the middle. That I only knew
It had
as
Call to Arms on it. It's the
yeah.
Life on the no.
It might be Call to Arms, but no.
Keep going.
We're gonna
Keep
but
going.
it was the record that I only knew because people came back to Sick of It All with yours truly, who listened to it and said this is good.
Yeah.
But I think people avoid it because of that covered art. But I only knew this Sick of It All album as being reviewed by older guys as skip, eject.
Okay, so that's cruel. But
I don't agree.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It might
That's
also be
fine.
like you tour with a band during a record and you go, this record's really
No,
great.
not yours truly. The record before that.
it is Call to Arms.
Yeah,
Call to
it
Arms,
wasn't
right.
as strong. I know, like, personally, Lou was sick during the recording, which kind of comes
Look at
with
this deep cuts right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, look,
Got that dirt.
Inside.
Here's my question, though, about Harm's Way. Since I'm kind of a new jack to Harm's Way, if we're being honest. Are they any... Are we kind of seeing them in a different lens than we would see a similar band playing that style of music?
Yes.
How we kind of... I think we look at bands and go, beat down band, slow down
Right.
mosh
No, so,
band.
right.
Are they any different because they have
Yes.
weird
Yes,
interludes?
right.
Yeah. Oh, I
So
won't even say the interludes. I'll say it's...
I think like their fans are the same kids that are going to see the punch your face bands, but they somehow have this kind of aura around them that they're above it.
Well, so quick.
Not intentionally.
Are
I don't know if it
they?
is or
I think maybe it is intentionally. I think in their perfect world, maybe they're playing more to the Nails audience.
right.
Okay, so...
But they're drawing and their sound, like the one song I heard on Isolation,
Yep.
Yes.
that I was really taken by was the second track, and it had what I called ignorant party mosh at the end of it. And any song where you can, I wanted to describe it like this: if you can pucker your lips like that duck face thing, snarl, and then groove your head back and forth,
Like stank.
yeah, that's ignorant party mosh. And they had that part, and I was like, oh, this takes me, even though I hate this kind of music. But I'm listening to it, and I was like, oh, you know what? Musically, just knowing them, seeing their imagery, I put them a lot closer to Nails. But when you listen, that's ignorant mosh.
Right, but here's the
Churn
deal.
mosh, I call it.
I'm in a different place than Tom because I kept answering yes to Tom when he said, are we seeing this band through a different lens? Because I thought Tom was asking a different question.
I probably was, and I got confused.
Okay.
I'm old.
So Tom's asking, do we see this band differently because of this blending of industrial music that they've put in here?
or aesthetically too. Like,
Yes,
are we looking at them
absolutely.
any different?
I think that we are, the people in this room,
Sure.
are doing the thing where we know those people to be hardcore dudes, so we are allowing them to cut a lot of checks on that, whereas
Bands we've talked about in the past
yes,
don't have that same cred.
exactly.
Right.
Don't get to write those things.
So Harm's Way gets an automatic listen from me for all of their records.
Sure.
Whereas the bands that they're going to end up playing with almost certainly will not. And
Sure.
and this is me just announcing a bias. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like for people at home. So okay, we got all types of listeners, and we get people that are like, dyed in the wool hardcore kids, but we also get like the fringe.
Yeah,
the
we
fringe
sure do.
We get the fringe kids.
Absolutely.
And to the fringe kids that are hearing what I'm saying and saying, this is that problem. This is why my band is not big in our local scene, is because I'm not down with you cool motherfuckers. Fuck you. Yeah, it's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, I feel you. It's a problem.
Right.
Because there is something to be said, like, all music gets clicky. You know what I mean? And,
Of course.
And like, so this is me. If you're hearing my voice and you are in a band that has something like Harm's Way going on, but you're not down. You know what I mean? You're not cool. Send me your record. I'll listen to it. I totally acknowledge that I've got a bias here. I do.
I mean, Harm's Way clearly does it better than
that's
anyone else.
That's worth talking about. Is that while what I said is true, what you just said is true, which is that
they're above the crowd because they're above the crowd because they're much better.
Let's talk about this. Let's play fantasy baseball here. Would they do better in the Nails crowd, black shirt, metal, but punk world, or would they do better in the basketball jersey, mosh, knocked loose world?
I'm going knocked loose.
I'm going knocked loose as well
because I feel like the Nails crowd would kind of turn their nose over.
And I kind of agree. But I will also say this. I think what I had heard was that when Code Orange started first doing their tours on this Roadrunner cycle, all that, they were catching some random, hey, I checked this new record out on Roadrunner.
Tom and I went to the show. They have Roadrunner fans.
Oh, right. It was chaos.
Right. And who is Harm's Way getting for the Metal Blade fan? Will they be able to pull? Because I think those people will.
Is there a current day Metal Blade?
Is Nails getting Nuclear Blast people in? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. And is that person there for Harm's Way? I don't know.
It's a
I don't know what a
47-year-old guy going like, I like Metal Blade. Like, is there any 24-year-old being like, I need this?
Right.
No, they're going out to buy it because they like Harm's Way, they like Twitching Tongues, they like whatever.
Right, and they're getting exposed to it through the more natural means and kind of on the fucking labor of Harm's Way's back.
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
right. And like dude who's like, yeah, I fucking loved Hyrax, man.
Yeah.
Isn't going, let me check out the new Harm's Way necessarily.
No, but okay, so Harm's Way to me would be the most obvious beneficiaries if what Code Orange did was create an actual scene around Code Orange.
Right.
Like, they would be the most obvious beneficiaries, not because they're like biting Code Orange.
Not at all. I think stylistically,
it's a different vibe. But it is for the person that likes, pardon me, idiot fucking heavy music that also wants an undercurrent of something intelligent going on.
And what I've also heard is the dude from Harm's Way, his lyrics are on some different shit. It's not punch your fucking gym teacher.
Oh no.
Right, and I heard that, and I read some of that stuff, and so that's cool, and that kind of creates this different world where it's a little bit hardcore, but there's a metal sound, or maybe it's more of a metal sound, but there's that hardcore kind of fucking spine to it. So yeah, that seems like where we're getting with a lot of this.
I mean, they sold a ton of records of it. They made all the charts and stuff.
And here's
Code. Harm's Way.
Harm's Way too.
Oh, is Harm's Way doing all right?
They did some charts, but I don't know what that fucking means.
No,
like people are hitting us. We're like, yeah, 10,000 listens. That sounds cool. We don't know what that means.
No,
I have no idea.
I don't know what those charts mean either. So you know.
Okay.
I think they hit like 129 on Billboard, which
better than I've ever done.
Same. Myself too. Yeah.
But Harm's Way, I'm going to say, as long as I'm airing out all my Harm's Way, here's what I would do different.
We're not playing Chicago anytime soon.
No, I mean, listen, I love those dudes. I actually.
Are you okay?
And I've actually heard. I had one encounter with those guys at a vegan restaurant in San Antonio 8 years ago, and they were the nicest people.
No, yeah. Whenever I see it, it's what's up. Whenever I see them, they're cool. Okay. But the as long as I'm airing out my shit, I saw them not that long ago, and I think that the singer may be restraining himself because he doesn't want a lawsuit, but he needs to embrace the lawsuit. Because if you're a monster,
be a fucking monster.
Dude's Bane.
He's Bane. Like, he is Bane from the fucking motion picture The Dark Knight Rises.
Someone posted, I think Morgado posted a picture of them, maybe it was last night, from St. Vitus, and someone was like, holy shit, is that Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, I mean,
he's enormous.
But the thing is, like,
dude works.
I just think if you're gonna be a monster, be a monster. That's all I'm saying.
Throw something. Aiming at your friend.
Oh my! I would take the smallest member of the band and break him over my knee and leave his corpse there and play.
And then wonder how he gets back to Gotham City all these years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
So,
okay, got it.
All right. So we're going to transition into talking about another record.
But I think that record is good. If I have to say, that's my favorite record.
You do like that one?
Yeah. You know what? I was listening on the way over, and it just kind of popped up, and I was like, "This is actually really well done. I actually really enjoy this." Yeah. And the other stuff, I was never put off by it.
No.
But it just didn't really strike me. I feel like this is a lot catchier.
This is the best record since Isolation, in my view.
I feel like this is their best record.
Yeah,
it's their best
record, period. Yes.
Yeah.
So we spent an awful lot of time, and it's been brought to our attention.
Yeah.
Talking about what Pat affectionately called the 1% of hardcore. So let's talk about that. Pat, talk about the 1%.
Okay, so
and And this is not in the Hell's Angel one.
No. Please.
5%ers?
So Bob's going to deny that these are his brick homies.
No.
Right, he denied that this was...
No, you know what? Because only half of them are actually listening.
Okay.
And the older ones don't give a fuck about any of this stuff.
Okay, so-
and they're just like, yeah, you guys talk about a lot of stuff. They're the ones...
Which means they didn't listen to any of it.
Don't listen to any of it. Because
Got it.
they start hearing you guys talk about bands. They're like, I don't care about any of this. And the younger ones also are just being very polite at this point. Like, oh, it's nice. Because I've gone off on a couple. I'm like, I don't really need your opinion on what we should be doing or not.
So we get hit after every episode with texts from the homies, texts from the acquaintances, texts from the gang members
A lot of DMs.
about what we should be doing. And it's never like, do this or I'm gonna break your arm. It's just, hey, this is why do you spend so much time on X? Why do you like? Could you talk about this more? Now,
and to be fair, we do ask for people's input.
Absolutely.
Love it. Don't stop. Don't stop.
I'm not
especially if you don't know us.
Yeah, I'm not even going to do my typical thing where I say,
don't DM
like,
me.
we don't
DM me.
no, where I say, fuck you if you don't like it. I'm not even going to say that because, we can talk about any of this shit.
Yeah,
so
we'll
tailor
talk
the
about
conversation
it.
if you want to. But here's the deal: there is some concern among some listeners that we talk about the hardcore 1%, and what I mean by that is the bands that are already big for hardcore, right? The bands that are
on the
already
more popular side, yeah.
right, already doing well in hardcore world, and some people don't need to hear about Code Orange again. Some people don't need to hear about Turnstile again.
Absolutely.
And we get that. We hear you. But this is kind of a weird thing. Because if we're talking about microband from Minnesota, that's a big up that like people hit us and say, yo, thank you for talking about my band.
Always.
Which we will always do. Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it's hard to give that a ton of attention because you do start to lose listeners when they're like, why are you talking? Why does it sound like a scene report from fucking MRR?
Well, I mean, maybe.
Do you talk about LeBron James or you talk about the 12th guy off the bench?
That's what I'm saying. So,
Well, and I'll say this as a dude who listens to the podcast about the 12th guy and Zion Williamson, who's like 3 years out of the league. High schoolers will go. But we talk about those bands because they're interesting. One,
sure.
they got stuff going on. Two,
Sure.
Three, Patrick, you know a couple of those dudes, so we get some of that.
Sure.
Tom, you don't really know those dudes.
I know the James.
Yeah. So we talk. Right.
Yeah.
So there's some of that, but really, it's because there's something to talk about, and we'll talk about your band from Minnesota. You know,
For sure.
Right.
And talk about the sound of it. And if you're going on tour, we'll talk about that. You know, we talked about Trail of Lies. Those dudes are doing a bunch of stuff. We'll probably be talking about them more in 3 months.
Absolutely.
Right, and
New
let's be
by the way.
realistic. Yeah,
Good.
But those,
Pretty heavy.
a lot of the records that, a lot of the 1%er bands that we talked about had records out in 2017 or have a record out in the first quarter of this year that we're kind of talking about because it's a big thing.
And so the other part to me, too, is this podcast, above all, we're older dudes in this youth-driven world. We want to talk about the stuff that's going on right now. We'll get on some old shit. We'll talk on some old shit. We probably will at the end of this episode. But we want to stay current and relevant because, if you just are living in your memories, that ain't for me, kid.
I don't want to
out.
shit. I don't want to get somebody sitting around telling stories.
I don't want to shit because we're gonna do the old guy episode.
We'll get there.
We'll have.
We'll
old
do
dudes
it
on.
differently.
Yeah, but I think we all agree that there's already a format for that.
Of course.
And we're trying to do something different.
And people love stories.
Right, for
sure.
sure. So,
let's get right into some more new shit.
okay.
Let's go.
Do you want to do something small and weird, or do you want to do Turnstile?
Let's do something small and weird and get to Turnstile.
Who's big and weird?
Let's talk about this motherfucking Ramallah song. Holy God in heaven.
Time out.
Yes.
All the centerpiece of our group chat has been Ramallah. The group chat
Holy
has been
fucking
Ramallah.
shit.
I think we should just play it.
Listen,
yeah.
the problem with playing it on this podcast is that it's 7.5 minutes long, and to get to the meat of it, you got to listen to the whole fucking thing.
That's right.
So I directed people to the song, and they tuned out after 30 seconds, and I said, you didn't hear the song.
No, you didn't experience it.
So
it's one of the
if you don't get to
craziest
the narrative story part.
Yeah.
It's a fever dream. It's one of the craziest things I have ever heard in my entire life. In any style of music.
Right.
There is some sort of like Mickey Spillane, like, come here, kid. Like, there's talking, there's
role
acting.
playing.
There's
Absolutely.
voice acting.
Yes,
there is
absolutely.
voice acting
there
on the
are
song.
racial epithets in the
Yep.
lyrics of the song.
Yep. Which are in context, so you can't knock them if you're an artist. But Not everybody an artist. And somebody heard that and said, did he
just say what I said?
So you know how the mainstream reacted when the R. Kelly locked in the closet, trapped in the closet? That's what this is.
This is hardcore's Locked in the Closet.
I am hoping for chapter 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, did he kill her?
He killed her. He killed her.
Oh, spoiler alert!
No.
Sorry.
It's okay, but guess what? You got spoiled. The journey is worth it.
Yeah,
So
it is.
take it.
It is. Okay, so there's not much else we can say about this except you have to listen to it, and you have to listen to it to completion. Ramallah is not an act I give a goddamn about. However, there is a member of that band, multiple members, who have real pedigree, who have done some interesting things in hardcore. This is also interesting. It's just literally insane and is so far off any fucking map.
Yeah, this is one we need to talk on this. We need to talk to this dude about. We should try to get him on. That would be
Get
great.
Rob on.
Yeah, because I would.
He's got his own pod too.
Oh, is that right?
I think
He's got a nodcast.
Oh.
Because you nod out when you do heroin.
Oh, is it about heroin?
Damn.
Well, no, that's what he calls it. It's like
yeah,
from the land of
okay,
nod.
so
I'm not taking shots at this
No.
dude. I feel like
No shots. This is not
also
shots.
don't-
there's been times, and I will say this, I was a Blood for Blood fan.
Oh, sure.
Same.
And I think that dude obviously has it in him to write some fucking good songs.
Oh.
I don't know if he needed an editor or something, but this was... I mean, I give him credit for the artistic, like...
100%.
He jumped out the window.
No. And here's the deal. Here's
He's
the deal.
still falling. He jumped out the window and he hasn't hit the ground yet.
So you hear the passion on this one. Ramallah does nothing for me. No offense, Rob.
None of those songs...
This is so great. I actually listened to one song that was
Days
like...
of Revenge is good, and Kill a Celebrity.
So we
not
should...
into any of that shit.
No, I'm not into it.
Okay, fair.
But this song, cool. I'm glad. You're talking to people who embrace creative challenges and an artistic fucking throw yourself out the windows. All in on this. Blood for Blood. A band who's gone through some ups and downs.
Yeah.
We're going to get to this later. We talk about bands who were written out a history of hardcore. Blood for Blood was fucking huge.
Yep. People
Undeniable
People
big.
don't understand the amount of crossover that band had.
Incredible.
It was extreme. You would have dudes in paperboy hats moshing along.
Next to a kid, X'd up, next to...
Yeah.
I mean, we did... Going back to that, the Yours Truly tour with Sick of It All, it was Most Precious Blood, Blood for Blood, Sick of It All. They were out... Why didn't
Scooter on that?
I don't know if it was. There were fights every night. It was the most ridiculous. But, I mean, they were... Some places they were outdrawing Sick of It All by a large margin in 2002.
No, listen.
Those dudes had crossover for, like, people coming out of jail that loved them.
Yes.
That had, like, an incredible crossover.
That Living in Exile record, the Living in Exile record, hard, hit the spot for hardcore kids, punk kids, the street punk thing, straight skinheads,
fans of Boondock Saints.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So they hit this
anybody
weird
like
world.
Ben Affleck ever. Yeah.
They toured. They did a Hatebreed tour in like 98 or 99, and then hit consecutive Dropkick Murphys tours, where they weren't, like I saw them play Jersey either in 99 or 2000 on St. Patrick's Day, before Dropkick Murphys started doing their St. Patrick's Day thing up in Mass.
Sure.
And Blood for Blood held their own on that show and were winning Dropkick Murphys fans, which Dropkick Murphys aren't quite Slayer, but they are one of those bands
Their fans are only there for them.
That's right. And I think Blood for Blood, more than any other band, was grabbing fans. I'll still stand on that Living in Exile record. Some hokey parts. The one before that.
Hokey parts.
Hella
But it
hokey.
works.
But it works, and it was a
Wasted
time.
Youth Crew, right? Was
No,
that?
that's after. I don't like that. The record before that, it's a little more street.
And actually, that's the record that I had to get. The one that you're referring to is the one that I had to give away because I was listening to it. So I listen to music while I sleep my whole life, right? And I would wake up in a bad mood because
It's an angry record.
It is.
Angry.
It's so negative.
What is that record? It's
We toured with them on the Outlaw Anthems record, which is fucking... It's a really good record.
It's good, really.
Very
Okay.
good.
I honestly, they lost me really hard on Wasted Youth Crew.
Spit my last breath.
That record
Spit My Last
is
Breath.
fucking frightening.
So
has
negative.
to be, and that's a record that people don't recognize. That is right there with like the Death Threat records, as far as like a hard, angry, like that is a sound that was big, and they've kind of got lost. There was a lot of things going up and down here and there, a lot of stories. That band, 18 years ago, you couldn't escape them. They were everywhere, and you had to be listening to them.
Right. So we'll get back to that.
So
when we talk about-
Ramallah, check that track.
Yes.
I don't think it's not going to be. It's not on Spotify, so it's not going to hit our list. But try to get it up there, Robin. Let's talk.
There's
Yeah,
also
it might
it's also like 80% of you are going to hate it outright.
And that's fine.
Just so you understand.
Just
And that's
listen
fine.
to the entire thing.
Right. And
It's the story.
Right, you're going to appreciate the scope of how weird this thing is. Okay, into Turnstile, who also... This is all new stuff, people. We've been gone for 2 weeks. No guest today because we're just going hard on all the shit we missed.
And you all talked and wanted us long. You're getting it.
Yeah.
Too bad.
So, new Turnstile, what's everybody's feeling?
It's fucking weird,
Uh-huh.
but I like it.
Okay.
I get a lot of Bad Brains vibe to some of it.
Well, because I think there's a couple direct riffs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Those dudes can write a fucking riff.
No question.
I think I get some Snapcase vibes a little bit. I don't know if it's just in the vocals, but the vocals aren't monotone like Snapcase vocals.
Which they always got, but they got, hey, this is Snapcase plus.
Right, like there's melody to it, but it's still that same kind
And
of...
I wonder if Dude has ever heard Snapcase. Not even a diss to Dude,
I bet
but
she
like
has.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think Brendan's a fan.
No.
Well, maybe not a fan, but I mean...
I don't know that he's heard it.
It's too
It's
on
not-
the nose to not have heard it.
I don't think it is. I'd bet
Yeah.
money against it.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think some of it's a little too weird.
Well, okay, so my feeling is that I like this record to start, but it is an alt record, and I wanted some groovy hardcore, and there are maybe two.
Like that first song, The Real Thing or whatever,
There's some groove. Don't get me wrong. There's some groove on this, and there's some hardcore on this.
Oh,
But I wanted some groovy hardcore, and this is a problem. Like we talked about it with TUI. This is a problem when something hits hard and you really like it, an album, and you imprint that this is what the band is going to be.
Right.
And then when they switch it up, it could be better. But you want that old thing.
Right, it's just like American Nightmare, which we'll talk later
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Same idea.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
So I like this record. I'm enthusiastic because one of my bands exists in a similar space of being the alt band that wants to play heavier shows. I like everything about this that is happening. But personally, I wanted what I call, and this sounds like a knock, and trust me, Turnstile are my dudes, and I like their music. This is not a knock. I like that Jeep without doors, hardcore music.
Right, it's like a party vibe.
It's a
groove.
party. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like fun.
I want that shit.
Yeah,
And
you're bouncing, you're
Like,
rocking.
where do they fit with this? Like those other stuff, they could go out in Newfound Glory and kill it. Where do they fit?
I got where this stuff goes.
Okay.
I like the record a lot.
Okay.
And that's almost
wild card
clear.
for you. Wild card. I didn't
Sort
expect
of.
it.
Right, you
Didn't
probably
expect
didn't. But you know what? I hear a lot of Quicksand. I don't know if we talked about it.
100%.
All over it.
Yep.
They matured on this record a bit.
Sure.
And I like it almost to the point where I'm like, I like this too much.
Oh, really?
As a 36-year-old man, because I'm scared the 22-year-old who wanted to bounce and groove is going to be like, it's not Nonstop Feeling. Quick question for the room. When did that record come out? Nonstop Feeling.
Oh, I have no idea.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
years?
Guess.
I'm guessing
3
two.
years.
I'm guessing two.
I'll say 3 years ago.
Literally 2 years ago, almost like January 13th. I have to look it up on my phone. January 13th, 2015. It feels
3 years
like
ago.
it feels
15 or
3 years
16.
ago. 3 years ago. You're right.
We're that age that it's like,
Right,
what? That
shit.
happened like 5 years ago.
Shit.
20 years ago.
So
Yeah.
it, 3
Sounds right.
years ago, but that was it. And those EPs before it, people vibe on.
Yeah, but-
Nonstop Feelings, the moment.
Yes.
And so it feels like, oh shit, is that it? But I'll tell you where I think this fits is I think a lot like the Title Fight Hyperview record, where people heard it and go, oh, how does this? Oh, maybe they liked it, maybe they didn't like it. I think in a live setting, these songs are going to fit into their set. They're still going to be playing songs off their EP. I think they're still going to be playing songs off Nonstop Feeling. And live, these songs are going to blend into the set a lot better than you might think.
Interesting.
Based
But I just
on
meant even in terms of like
record.
bands, like
Oh.
a kid that's going to see the story so far, they're going to be like, "What the fuck is this?" With the song that starts with the Sing from Sheer Mag or whatever.
So
and
this
it's like,
this is
what the fuck?
this is a problem whenever a band starts going their own way.
Yes.
Is who do you put them with? And for people at home, I'm in 2 of those bands, and it is a fucking challenge. You know
Right.
what I mean? It is like the biggest problem that my bands ever get is like, if we're hot for any reason, if people are talking about us, it's not a problem. If you are not hot for whatever reason, you're in between records or people just don't give a fuck about you.
Right.
Finding your place when you on a tour, as a support act on a tour, when you are doing something you're like singular. Whoa, not fucking easy. You
Right. They might build it around themselves.
You
They
better
don't
have
need-
some fucking friends.
Yeah.
And I feel as though, at least with self-defense, You rewind 10 years ago, there was no space for you, and you guys eventually kind of carved and found and grooved long enough to find your own little lane. But even that, like you knew that struggle. I don't think Turnstile is going to have a problem. I think they've got enough weight behind their band that it's going to roll.
I mean, they're playing 1,100 capacity places, so like they're okay.
Yeah, I think they're okay, and I think they've got that built-in fan base. I think the record's going to go over well, and I'm shocked at how many old dudes are vibing on it. Because I've had older dudes tell me, yo, no one over 30 actually likes Turnstile. Don't fucking lie.
Right.
But
They all
I
love it live.
challenge, yeah, I think that's the thing. I said, and I'll say it on here, on their EPs, I probably 2 or 3 tracks, and then on Nonstop Feeling, probably 2-3 songs that I'm like, oh, this sticks with me. On this new one, I really like it as an album, and I feel like all that time and work they put into it, they crafted something really nice.
So I ran this through the Amelia lens, right? for people at home, Amelia's my partner, and she also happens to be young as shit. Don't at me. I didn't know when I started dating her. It came out later.
And she loves the core.
Yo, and she's more mature than you.
Without question.
It's not even close.
Also makes more money than me.
Right. Yeah. So this is you're upping into this.
You guys are in my room right now. Describe it to me.
know,
You know what I
bad.
mean? It's bad. It's bad. But
Yeah, like I called 911 on people that live.
There's 7, 8 jars of peanut butter.
about a dozen empty yerba mate cans.
Yeah, this is
like
weird.
legitimate.
It's weird. We're
we
gonna
don't
get
actually
out.
have to describe it. So the point is that Amelia, despite being more mature than I am, wealthier than I am, she's still young. And when I'm not sure if something's going to connect with somebody a decade younger than me or whatever, I ask her, and she's feeling this. She's with this. So I take that as a good sign because she's there for the good time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's the type of
The feeling.
Yeah, she's
The nonstop feeling.
the nonstop feeling. She when she wants to feel an emotion, she'll listen to something slow and sad. When she wants to have a good time, that's the space that hardcore music occupies for her.
I think
Where does Turnstile fit on that?
I think Turnstile is still fun as fuck.
Okay, good.
Still fun as fuck. And
So do you get to see any of these songs played live on that tour?
we got to see. Yes, we did.
How'd they go over?
Really good. Also, the single that they put out ahead of that tour because they put out 3 singles.
Sure.
And I'm gonna fuck them up if I try to remember.
We did last time.
But
Yeah.
but we might have talked about it on this podcast. I was not a super fan. I thought it was a good record. Didn't think it was a single. Live, it's a fucking single.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So I think that they can turn some of these songs that I don't know how they're going to pull off live as far as like, oh, are people going to connect? Turnstile has a way.
Their energy.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is the thing. Is if you were, we'll throw some tracks out there, but if you were older and you listened to it or you saw a video and you didn't feel, all right. Go see them live because there is an energy, and it's that same energy you feel when you're 16, 17, 18 seeing hardcore shows. And that's a part I'll give them a lot of credit for, is I think those dudes are playing big rooms but still bring this energy.
Yeah.
They could be playing in a room, for 30 people, and those guys bounce off the walls. So I have no doubt that some of these tracks that are a little more crafted, maybe you don't know where's the mosh part in this song.
They can sell it.
It's going to be pulled.
Yeah.
Like that, they had that one melodic song, Blue by You or whatever.
Yeah.
And Moon has that similar feel. Yo, that song's great. I love that.
I don't like that.
I love
I don't
that
need
song.
anybody. Code Orange had a new single that's like singing some music. I don't need real music. Get the fuck out of here with your real music. I don't need these so the Blue by You and the new
Noon.
I don't need that.
Just
but,
give me like a.
But in the in the
Right.
texture of it, though, I think that fits. And I thought live, it was like, oh shit.
Well,
okay.
that's what I was gonna say. I don't need it, but people fucking love it
Clearly,
live.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Those songs kill live.
To
which
me,
is
I
crazy.
feel like that rounds them out in a way that sometimes you don't get with some of these bands that are strictly heavy.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean?
No,
And
no,
that's
I've
what-
never seen a band, maybe ever, that get that kind of reaction.
Oh, they can just step on stage and
It's
on.
fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. No.
We always joke. I forget who I was talking to, but I don't think they've ever played a bad show.
Oh, that's a good question.
I bet.
I don't think I've never
Oh,
like
that's a
when
good
they were on
question.
the demo, they were getting
Yeah.
reactions that a headlining band would kill for. I don't know if they ever played a busted ass show.
They would say they did, but by our standards,
We'd be like, "Holy shit, this is the greatest floor show ever."
You and I have played some beat shows, and I think that
Yeah.
I think that they would say, but they don't know a beat show. You
No,
know what I
they
mean?
don't.
Yeah.
Like they would say they've played one, but they don't know. They don't know.
They don't know. Yeah, 150 people is a beat show for them.
Right.
If I was on tour getting 150,
And I
people,
think those dudes did their time in TUI.
Yep.
You know?
And they toured hard now.
And toured hard. And I just think they did that and we're like, oh, what were the parts that just banged in that live and brought that to Turnstile in a way? Like,
although
the room just explodes.
You want me to go like super inside baseball where I'm talking about people's business on
Yes,
this?
of course.
I mean, as long as they don't.
I've already sent the text to try to get the story about a bad Turnstile show.
So I know their booking agent quite well.
Okay.
And I said to him, why are you protecting this band? Now, for people at home...
Let's go on this inside baseball.
For people at home, protecting a band is what you do when you're scared of their headline numbers.
So you put the main support right before a headlining band, you can't lose.
Right, exactly. Right. You basically insulate them from getting real numbers because real numbers are what determines your worth. And if you are shaky on what a band can draw as a booking agent, you farm them out as support until you feel like something's going to break.
And I, for a long minute, have been like, man, this band, and I'm sure Tom, Pat, you both would agree, they should be on they could be on bigger things just because that energy is so palpable.
For
You're
sure.
Like, yo, this is going to make it whatever,
If
wherever.
you're a 16-year-old going to see fucking whoever.
If they're playing a basement in Baltimore or fucking opening for 311 across the country, I think they're stealing fans.
It's going to blow your mind, sure.
Yeah.
But so I said, because they hadn't played since whatever, it's been months and months prior to this record coming out that they had done any real touring. And I said to the booking agent, I think you stand the chance of missing the moment because
these dudes fly.
Because they got, and he said,
my God, yeah.
And he said, yo, it's not me. He said, I want to make money off them. I want them out all the time.
The headlining needs more.
Yeah, but so we're not afraid of their real numbers at all. They were very clear that they are only giving Turnstile this period before the album comes out to do any shows because all of their other bands need some shine too.
Yep.
So for weird haters, and Turnstile doesn't have a lot.
Not too many.
Not too many, but you can find them. But
Sure
They're mostly over 40.
For weird haters that when they see a band doing well, question if a band is for real, if their motivations are good, whatever nonsense little kid shit you're on. Turnstile is actually about all of their individual crafts.
Rather than taking back seats to TUI, Angel Dust.
Whatever they are pursuing is the most important thing to them at that moment. And it is really I've spent a lot of time around Turnstile because we've done a number of shows with them. And I got to say, as human beings, their energy is a nightmare for
the backstage room.
Well, no. It's actually they're calm as fuck. They're cool, but it's a nightmare for people that do business with them because they have a leg up on everybody, which is they could take it or leave it.
Yes.
If it's not fun, they're walking, and that is a powerful fucking position.
And I
to
will
have.
say this: I think that one of the first terms I would give those dudes collectively to describe Turnstile, especially those guys, but the peripheral stuff as well, is thoughtful. Those guys really think about what they're doing. They don't turn down offers for superficial reasons.
Yeah.
They turn them down for reasons that are important to them. I think that's the way they handle their record label, which I don't like everything they put out, but that's good because I don't fucking like everything any labels put out. But I see the way they're doing it, and I see what they're doing, and I think even this tour they've got coming up, it's thoughtful. I think they're thinking about the things they're doing. I think they're thinking about the way they're doing it, and all that means something. And I have confirmed they've never had a bad live show.
So
Did you get that from the band or someone that rolls with them?
Yeah, and I asked for the weirdest story, so hopefully we'll share that. But continue.
We all like the record, and you are an excellent segue dude today because you have segued into their tour, which intentionally or unintentionally is a great thing because we're going to talk about it. Their direct support for them on their upcoming tour is Touche Amore, who we talked about earlier.
Let's run down the full lineup. Turnstile, Touche, Sheer Mag.
No.
That's
Culture
the power
Abuse.
I think we just think that because Sheer Mag is everybody's talking
Culture
about.
Abuse,
So it's Turnstile, Touche, Culture Abuse,
Razor Bumps.
Razor Bumps.
Okay.
Haven't heard Razor Bumps yet.
Neither have I.
All the press says it sounds like Devo, and then when in the interviews they're like, we don't actually sound like Devo. I don't know why.
Okay.
So anyway, let's talk about this because this is a weirdly triggering thing for me. I feel really strongly about this. Whenever I see comment section types, those people that just exist on the fucking internet, don't know shit about shit, like, whenever I see them comment on a tour package that has their favorite band playing under a band they don't think is worthy, it's always this shitty fucking,
troll!
Well, idiots that don't know how business works.
Correct. So, we've probably talked about it on this podcast. Is there a smarter hardcore band than Terror? No.
And the way they run their business, absolutely not.
I don't need another Terror record again in this lifetime. No disrespect. However, I'm always going to respect Terror because they are a career band in a niche world, and that is so fucking hard, I can't describe to you people.
How many bands in the United States that play hardcore right now live off their band?
Oh my God.
Less than 10.
I'd say less than a Ninja Turtle hand. So here's the deal. Terror, when it used to be Terror would support these whack as fuck fucking whatever bands, deathcore bands, whatever, and people would be like, oh, what the fuck?
Right.
Not understanding that it was the smartest fucking move for Terror at the time, and it might not be what they want to do in 2018. I have no idea, but it served them at one point. Maybe they did it too much. I don't fucking know. But it served them at one point. Now Turnstile's way cooler than that, so I'm not saying Touche is like playing under a mirror, but I'm saying that
don't at us, dude from a mirror. We don't care.
Yeah, no, really don't care. But
doesn't he live in Queens? We can go find him.
Who knows?
All right, we'll look into that. So anyway, the point is.
Out.
The point is.
We got violent.
That's it, man.
Real
Gavin, bro.
Point is. Touche is playing under Turnstile, and for anybody at home that loves Touche and says, and doesn't necessarily love Turnstile or doesn't understand Turnstile, doesn't know Turnstile, whatever, and says, that's fucked up, like, why is Touche playing underneath Turnstile? The answer is, because they should be. The answer is, because that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And because they agreed to.
Yes,
they looked into it.
Yeah,
and it was like...
Yeah, it wasn't like
let's pull back, too.
Like a tiger trap.
Right, and not even on the full business side of things. But to me, that's a cool move on both sides.
Absolutely.
I think that Touche, especially given the strength of their live show, is going to be playing to a lot of Turnstile fans who are like, who's this band, huh?
100%.
Right.
And Turnstile
will be playing.
Hopefully, will be playing to some people, maybe a little older, or just from a different perspective, who are there for Touche, who go, oh, you know what? I wrote this band off as jock bro Jeep music.
Yep.
And there's more to it. And that energy is crazy. And I think that's the cohesive strand between those two bands is that when you see them live, regardless of if you are part of their specific sub-genre fandom, you go, oh, well, they do it live.
Yeah, they do it live.
Yeah, and I think they complement each other. Turnstile is kind of hit, on an upward trajectory. But Touche is no fucking slouch.
They're no slouches. But
they're playing venues that they probably play, like, comparable venues on their own, in reality. So it's like...
Here's the deal.
Not right now, I don't think.
Touche is either at the very end of their cycle or off cycle.
I think they're off cycle.
And Turnstile is starting one. For people at home, that's the way this shit works. Yeah. When you are hot, you fucking headline. And then next year, if you're not hot, and we should
not to say that they're not hot, but they're finishing up.
No, and I don't think they're hot. I think we can say that.
I think that we've got to separate this idea that just because you're not hot, that you can't be hot again.
No way.
Right. That's
the.
I don't want to be disrespectful and kind of.
No,
they've toured off a record for 2 years.
Yeah,
everyone has seen them and wants to see them.
And to touch on the thing that you were saying about Terror being a career band, they go up, they go down. Hey, you said it, and even a big Terror fan couldn't have predicted that Keepers of the Faith was going to really reignite that band.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who we got described, and we haven't listened yet, but I will. A band sent us a demo and said, we sound like 2010. And I said, cool, what does 2010 sound like?
Right.
And he was really good, and I loved it. And when you send us stuff, describe it. That's part of it. That's the conversation.
Like yeah.
So, and he cites Old Backtrack, Old Cruel Hand, Keeper of the Faith era Terror. That is a thing. And great. So to some people, that creation of music's big. And they don't need to. But if they choose to, fucking great. And they might write a record that's better than anything they've written before next year.
Right.
Who knows?
Correct. So that's just my weird axe to grind with people I see on the internet who don't understand that being a career band means being Every Time I Die, who's been a band for 20 years playing underneath something that you think is lame. Trust me, every time I die, they're not being tricked. Okay.
Yeah. They're not like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't say I would open for Motionless in White.
Which
they are, by the way.
To survive that long as a touring hardcore act, let me say this specific, as a touring niche audience act of any type, you have to be so elastic, so willing to do the thing that does not seem immediately cool to the guy that thinks you're the coolest band in the world.
Yes.
Right.
And that is career shit.
Right. And catch them this next time around when they'll be headlining with bands you like.
Correct.
And has gotten an extra 5%. Like Seb said on the first episode, we're talking about Terror opening for Knocked Loose. The dudes from Terror aren't chomping at the bit at that. They don't care one way or the other. They got an offer, said cool, and they know there's 5, 10, 15, 20 people at that Knocked Loose show who, for whatever reason, Terror hasn't been on their radar, and now they will be.
Yeah.
And next time through Des Moines, they'll be at the Terror
and
show.
these shows are selling out months and months in advance. Like, it's a fucking perfect...
Yeah.
That's as good as you can get.
All right, so to the Turnstile tour, I think it was well thought out. I think they know that Touche's got some fans who haven't seen him. I think Culture Abuse pulls in a totally different world. And I think live, I've heard Culture Abuse, you better bring it live, because I've heard questions about them live. And heard that it's just live. No, and that record that they put out on 6131 is fucking really good.
People love it. Here's
really
what so I've played some shows with Culture Abuse. When to their crowd, I don't know how it'll go over to anybody else's crowd. To their crowd, it is the funnest fucking thing.
And it's so loose.
And that's the thing, is the people that go to that show, they want the replacements. They want something that is shambling, that might fall apart, that is a mess.
That has that chaos fall apart, which I get. And I like that too.
So to their crowd, they are the top fucking thing. I don't know, because it's worth noting that while some people have rightfully observed that the magic of Turnstile is that 2 members of that band can hold down any individual song while the other members are flying around the place. That's not to knock anybody, because everybody plays their part in that band and they do it really, really well. But also Touche, an actual machine. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've seen them play 20 songs, no fucking stops, except for hey, thanks so much, it means the world to us that you're here. And so these are bands that are different types of machines, but are machines. They are so it will Culture Abuse go over with that crowd? Maybe not. But
they're bringing other people to the party.
Correct.
And I love that.
Correct. And people that go to Turnstile are there to have fun. People that go to a Culture Abuse show are there to have fun. Significant crossover there.
All right, so Turnstile tour story, because there are no bad reactions.
Okay, this is your insider.
Lil Brandon, the roadie, Turnstile. If you guys see him, mention Axe to Grind to him, and he will wink at you.
Hold on.
But he does. Is he one of the guys that doesn't listen? He just
he listens.
He doesn't.
If he listens, he has to break the longer ones up. But I think he listens.
What kind of attention span is that?
Well,
he's a busy guy. He's a busy guy.
Busy guy. I know him. He's not that busy.
He's a busy guy.
Ken
he's got
listens,
a lot to do. Ken's is an older man.
But
Brandon is 21.
All right, focus.
Brandon is 21.
Speaking of focus.
But he gave us a good story. We were in Germany, and people were jumping around on stage. Obviously,
weird.
Brandon.
Yeah,
weird.
it's not blowing my mind.
One knocks into Brady and fucks his guitar up a little.
Okay.
He tells
long-haired guy.
Yeah.
I don't know who's who.
Me neither.
Brady is
Top Knot guy.
Top Knot, who holds songs.
He holds it down.
He's
the river.
When he's told, he's the one who needs to be kind of in control. He tells me, if they get close, just kind of push them off. It happened again 5 minutes later, and I kind of threw the kid off stage.
We should point out that he's a dickhead.
People think he's a dickhead. He's my girl. Well, let me finish the story.
I know him.
Reputation as a dickhead. Now here's where it twists.
Okay. Not Brady, by the way.
Brent.
Yeah.
Turns out the kid was a Syrian refugee, fresh out of a war zone.
Fuck.
And I felt like the biggest shit.
Oh, fuck.
So, yes, Bran gets...
So this really doesn't have anything to do with Turnstile.
No, but he said that's the weirdest story. I asked for a weird story.
That is fucking...
Little Brandon sings in Crust. He is my little brother. I love you, Bran. He's not a dickhead. He comes off as a dickhead, and he wants you to think he's a dickhead. All of our friends think he's grumpy. I talked to him about it. He loves it. It's an act. He's a sweetheart. Go tell him you listen to Axe to Grind. Give him a drink like a cold water,
like a non-alcoholic drink. Is
Yeah,
it
he's
edge?
straight edge. Of
Oh, I don't
course.
know.
But
Of course
I
he is.
know.
He's from fucking Brick.
But okay,
right.
whatever.
That's a whole
I just
nother
want to
fucking-
point out I know this dude too. But go on.
He's a good guy, and we'll have more Turnstile tour stories when he comes on.
Okay. Next topic is.
Next record. Let's talk
Oh, and?
American Nightmare.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pat, give
All right.
us your axe to grind.
I don't like this band.
You never did. though,
Never
right?
did. Not since I was a kid. Never liked
Give
this
us
band.
Sure.
where. Just go for the axe to grind. Go.
I don't really have one,
You
except I don't
but,
like it.
But it became an axe to grind that we had to deal with. all
Oh,
the
that's right. Okay, let's talk some old shit. Let's talk about
Because
some
we
old
can
shit.
talk. So you guys want this
Let's
axe to
talk
grind?
about old shit.
Here we go.
Okay, let's talk
Press
about old shit.
record.
Let's talk about old shit. Okay. So American Nightmare, this might mean nothing to our listeners under 30. Not a fucking thing. But American Nightmare used to have the most intense fan base that you could find within hardcore music. Is that correct?
Quick
Yes.
pause. So much so, directly before American Nightmare was the kind of like the late '90s youth crew revival. all
Right.
that
Some
shit.
Right Brigade. Kind
Some
of
Right
vibes.
Brigade lead
Yeah.
in. We'll talk about them at some point. But
Sure.
but basically, American Nightmare came in and just you were wearing
Diesel jeans.
No, you're wearing khaki. You're wearing cargo shorts,
Yeah.
and you got a pause up.
Next week,
You're wearing tight jeans, slicked hair,
And a track jacket.
and you assimilated Wes's look. And I actually had a conversation about this because he was, hardcore goes through these fashion things, and I think a lot of that shit's whack. But that was for fucking real.
People don't
start
under-
dressing
no,
like
people-
him, like people
a
get
kid
on this.
can't understand.
You
It
see
was
all
wild.
these.
Like
You see
him
all these.
and Jake were the two most like.
And he was more pronounced than Jake by a mile. Jake had been
Sure.
doing his thing, and there's that vein of Converge Supervan.
Yeah.
But wow, they assimilated Wes.
Band
like,
changed sound wise, lyrically.
oh,
Look,
dressed like
overnight,
him.
I can't describe
it was
this.
wild, and to the point where you see all these memes about kid at a Turnstile show, kid at this band
Yeah.
show. Yo, it's not even like it. Just the entire country basically. Whoosh,
Yes.
and all of
Or
a sudden.
Fred Perry track jackets.
Yes.
Assimilated
Yes.
Wes's look, and that dude went from being the 10-yard fight roadie to doing this band.
To like a style icon.
And and like
Yeah, in the world, not even
And
in-
I say this, big American Nightmare fan at the
Yes.
time. But Pat, back to you.
All right, so I went and saw this band. I think they played Avail with Avail in the city. Does that sound
the
right?
Knitting Factory.
At the Knitting Factory,
did,
correct.
yes.
And another quick timeout. If you go to Wes's his Cold Cave website or something, you can see a full list of all of American Nightmare shows.
Wow.
Ever?
Those, yes.
I respect that. That's
Respect, and I think all his bands, which is some weirdo shit, but I
Yeah, I couldn't
appreciate.
attempt to
I
do that.
fucking appreciate it. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yo, new bands, cheat code. Go look how hard American Nightmare grinded for the first year and a half, 2 years. They played New Jersey probably fucking 15 times.
And they
in the
played
first year.
with everyone.
Everyone.
Right.
I'd see them with Poison the Well, then you'd see them with
Tear It Up.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
anyone
such
and
a cool,
everyone.
yeah.
So
I go and see them at the city, in the city.
Sure. Opening up for the greatest band ever.
Opening
Avail's
up.
pretty.
opening up for a very good band, Avail.
Yo, Dixie, great record. I don't
record.
need
4 a.m.
much.
Friday.
I don't need much else, but Dixie's great.
4
Anyway,
a.m. Friday.
point is, Avail has been largely forgotten by some of the youth. It's fucking
Another
great.
one.
Yeah.
There's one that's been written out of history, and how?
For no reason.
Yeah.
Okay, so saw American Nightmare, saw the kids going crazy. I'm a born hater, so I don't like this. The sound doesn't appeal to me, and I see people going nuts, and already... So I've had multiple periods in my time as a righteous corpsman where nothing is appealing to me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, and then I have to go back to the fucking well and listen to old shit for fucking a year and a half.
And quick timeout, that's such a good lesson. If you aren't vibing on what's going on right now, music is not fucking a one-way street moving forward. You can go lateral, you can go backwards. There's so much room for shit. Discover.
Circle, man.
The world,
flat earth.
American Nightmare and Panic offered me so little that I just did the fucking Discord discography for fucking 3 years. You know what I mean? Like I went and listened to shit that I was like, all right, well, you know what I mean?
I guess I'm listening to Branch Manager.
Yeah.
No, and I liked American Nightmare, but I disliked all their ripoffs so much I went and bought like Police Line 7 inches, shit like that.
So I go and see American Nightmare. I'm not feeling it, but everybody else is. This makes me feel alienated. I'm a little kid and I'm angry. So we write a song. At the time, this is end of a year, which, if depending on your opinion, either turned into Self-Defense Family or is or whatever.
Evolved, whatever.
Mutated. We write a song on our first fucking whatever, I think, and it is about American Nightmare, but it's about all that shit. It's about, and listen, this has been my dismissive, unfair thing where I go, yeah, when people would talk to me about it, I'd be like, yeah, it's about American Nightmare from Autumn to Ashes, and people would be like, whoa, those aren't the same thing.
Yeah, those are pretty divergent.
And I'd be like, it's not. But to me, it was because it was melodrama, and I was not about that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I was not feeling that level of, I'm thinking about killing myself. I don't like that shit, right? Or at least didn't appreciate it at the time.
Sure.
Now, you know, if I Hate God is like, I might actually do it. I'm like, well, it's kind of interesting.
And things strike a chord at different times in your life, and so
Also,
like no one's holding that.
It's worth saying, I'm a fucking hater. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you don't really like Youth Crew fast.
That's the thing. Bob's going to get weird and do his Youth Crew defense thing.
Yeah.
But Ann, to me, was the what's the pedal? Metal Zone. It was the Metal Zone Youth Crew.
No,
that's
and
what that was.
I don't think I'd argue that. I think they took some of those elements right off. I mean, it was a band when they first came out. That demo was pitched 10-yard fight because it's the guitar player of 10-yard fight. Tim Baum started it with Wes, who was the roadie.
Now, don't get me wrong.
And I hated that demo.
Don't get me wrong.
Everyone loved it though.
Everybody loved it at the time. It was a fucking phenomenon.
Yeah.
But here's the deal.
They catch me on the 7-inch.
This American Nightmare, still no fan. But if I'm going to be frank, it is very immediate, good hardcore music. You know what I mean?
The current record?
No,
No,
we'll
just
get into that. But
Okay.
as a band, it is hectic, immediate.
Right.
It is
urgent.
It's urgent. It's what? Yes. Okay. If we were writing for Pitchfork, we'd call this urgent. And so,
what would you give it out of 10?
Well, we're gonna get into that. That said, I don't need American Nightmare. I don't like American Nightmare. I don't whatever. Right.
And more than anything, it was your aversion to what was going on around it and seeing, and that salted your fucking bitter heart enough
salty
that,
man.
and then you wrote
from fucking Socrates, you'd probably love it.
No, I'd be a salt goblin no matter what. But
Rotterdam, maybe, who knows? So years later, you write the song. You get called on it.
Oh,
let's
okay.
Get into the real.
Let's get
this
into
is
it. Sorry, I lost my focus.
Oh, sorry. There's an axe to grind.
We write a song. And
a diss track.
A diss track.
Wait.
A diss track. Because
get to the.
Let's be clear on this. My whole career, I've been throwing fucking subliminals at everybody, and if you haven't picked up on it, that's your own fault. Because I think I've been fucking telegraphing.
Yeah. Everybody loves on this dude for his internet personality. He throws his subtweets are those lyrics. So that's where it's really.
So I've been ripping on motherfuckers for a long fucking time. Yeah. So write a song and don't think much of it, right? Because nobody gives a fuck about my band, so who cares?
No.
So that said, when things go through the grapevine of super fans, right? And I'm not going to disrespect some of the ringleaders of that particular crowd because they're now fucking 40 and
no names necessary.
No, and different.
And I have love for some of these people, so no names necessary.
We can talk about it after. I want names after the podcast.
So no shitting on a motherfucker.
Bob's writing me a note in his phone.
But okay, so some of these people are Bob's people.
Sure.
But I'm gonna ask Bob, were they on the dick?
Got it.
Were they on the? No. What they were on.
Old now. You can just say if a motherfucker was on the dick when he was fucking 19.
You know what it was? It was no, because he wasn't 19. He was older than you or I. He wasn't on the dick. He was on the.
Now I just got angry. That's inexcusable. Go on.
He was on the. This is my friend. Irrational defense. Right. Because I think years later he actually would cop that to you.
Okay. So
correct.
So
somehow it gets to this gentleman.
Gets to someone.
So Bob's big homie is mad, and somehow whether he believed it or not, it's not. I'm not in the dude's head.
Right.
Whether he believed it or not, he hears my shitting on this melodrama music as shit about Wes's disability.
Right.
And
what?
Right. Now
he heard it and it's not.
Clearly, motherfucking.
Please. So this whole story can be out there, fucking public consent.
So this dude has a little weight in California at the time. Is that accurate?
Naturally, you guys have problems. I have the email still where you guys were having shows stopped all over.
Yeah. So
really, this got this deep.
Yeah.
God damn. And this is what 2000.
Quick timeout. Guitarist of End of Year.
And self-defense.
And self-defense is in the room, and he's nodding his head in agreement.
He remembers. He remembers. So,
Holy shit.
So we were getting now.
So end of year signs to Rev as a glamour project almost, because Pat sends me demo. I hear there's split 7-inch, so this goes to the split 7-inch, and I hear the song "The Leaders," and I'm like, oh, this is a great song, cool band. Started talking to Pat. He lives in a van. He's got a fucking weird life at this time, and I'm like, yeah, let's sign him. But some of the other people at Rev were a little like, I don't know.
What we'll characterize, what Bob can't do, but I'll characterize as motherfucking haters.
But they're like, I don't know.
Based off this one.
No. They heard the song, they heard the track, they're like, cool, can we hear more?
And then
I played some of the older stuff that even I was like,
And then
I thought it was off the speaker.
And then I'm like, yo, send me some new tracks. He's like, we're actually going in and record for another split. They went and recorded Dead Air with Will, who does good work, really good work. Pat is sick.
And I sound terrible. So
the worst vocals he's ever dropped.
So the next thing that Bob has to share, is garb. You know what I mean?
And I have to tell them, no, don't worry, he's sick.
Yeah.
And so,
which, by the way, speaks to what I'm always telling people now as an adult: don't live like me. Put out your best material. If you're fucked that week and you can't sing, guess what? You
call time out,
take an L, and you go and fucking record when you can.
Yeah. Right, and
lose the money.
So he has learned things over time, but at the time he was a foolish man. I get it through. And the record they deliver is fucking great.
That's a great record.
Yeah. And he brought his band
stand.
Right, great record. So we'll put that on the Spotify list so we can get some spins. But
that's it.
Could use them.
But so they decide they're going to go on tour, and then I have some emails. I still have that email.
Fuck. I don't want to even see that because it's been. You know what's crazy about me is I could have really big beef. And I let go of shit. Yes. I don't hold on to shit unless I have to see it. And then I get the hair on my back starts to I'm like, you piece of shit.
But so I catch this too early because the record is going to be recorded and we're making plans. This is around the time of the first Sound and Fury. And I'm like, well, I want end of year to play. They'll kind of build some touring around it. I'm like, this is cool. The record will come out around then. Great. The record actually came out, I believe, the week after Sound and Fury.
That's right. Whatever happens.
Which is fine, totally. But I get one of my partners with Sound and Fury, Todd Jones, is like, yo, I heard X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, oh no, and, this whole thing. I explained to Todd, he's rational. He's like, oh, okay, he gets it.
So, here's a totally, I don't know how to say this one. I actually went looking for that dude at Sound and Fury. The dude,
not here, because we kind of we do enough to quelch it and be like, look, man, you know me. This guy's known me for a long time. I'm telling you this isn't real. Right. Yeah. But he's like, I don't know. But he kind of gives it the like soft, all right, fine, whatever.
Right. And he's still mad. You know what I mean?
At that time, yeah, he wasn't psyched on you. And he certainly was making it a little harder for you guys to get shows on.
Fucking hard. And because, so there's a couple.
That tour, if you guys played to 30 people at some of those shows, you're fucking psyched.
Oh, we killed it. Oh, yeah. That was big for us.
So that dude was going out of his way to fuck up.
Well, no, that was as big as end of year was getting, but he was denying them even the 30.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Right.
So
putting a lot of work. But
that is now Bob is right. That man is actual friends with Wes, so I can't take that away from him, right? Like,
sure.
So he's carrying beef for his perceived beef for his friend. I got no beef with Wes. I just don't like his music.
And that dude probably has no idea.
At the time, I can't imagine.
And he probably couldn't give a flying fuck.
Correct. You know what I mean? So, but at the time, he thought he was carrying a beef for a friend.
True.
But the only reason that would work is if other people were willing to carry that beef.
That's right. For him. And he kind of poisoned the well, for lack of a better term.
Correct. And at the end,
no, it's not.
I know.
But that's what they did.
And at the end of the day, obviously worked out for everybody. I'm mega successful. They're mega successful.
You never caught a hot one.
No, to be honest.
Years later.
So I went looking for the dude at Sound of Fury, not for a fight at all.
This is 2006, folks.
Not for a fight, but for a hey, what's up? And at the table was a dude that I thought was him, and I didn't want it with this guy. You know what I mean?
Got it, sure.
So I kept it moving. But I have run into him once in my life.
Yes.
The fella.
Sure.
And I shook his hand because I didn't know who he was when I was shaking his hand.
Because it's years later.
Oh, it's 10 years later. And then he walks away, and Andy Rice, sorry, this is so inside baseball, is dying
Mutual
laughing.
Friend.
because he's going, yo, you know who that was? And
So now, did Homeboy know it was you?
oh yeah.
He knew.
Oh, so,
Now,
yeah.
but later on, he talked to you. He talked to you about it. He was like, "Hey, man, right? I thought you told me."
He might have sent an email, maybe.
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't remember.
But anyways,
I only remember the shit I'm angry about. I
And
don't remember.
so,
Beef.
to Patrick's credit, he said a lot of shit things about a lot of shit people, for a lot of reasons. Making fun of somebody with any sort of
Disability. Not as
disability
bad. Not as
would never be something.
I'm going to be honest. I'm
You're
going to be
way
honest.
too clever for that shit.
I'm more likely to do that in 2018 than I ever would have.
Yeah.
And because even I guess I wouldn't still. But
No,
the
you
point.
would.
But,
No.
but the point is that, like, listen, I don't need to say this. I got people with disabilities in my immediate family. And at the time that happened, my career was working for people with disabilities.
So why the
it
fuck
really
was
wasn't. And also, as you said, not for nothing, if I was going to take a shot at a motherfucker, it wouldn't be about fucking some shit he can't help.
No, you would have been mad about his hairstyle and the fact that everybody's dressing like him.
Exactly.
Sure.
So anyway, that's some
Ancient history. There we go.
Ancient- that's
A
ancient
welcome.
axe.
An
That's-
axe to grind.
that's
that has been
ancient
waiting.
axe.
He had to like dig up the axe.
Yeah,
We had
yeah,
to
yeah,
pull it
yeah.
out.
That's
But
ancient
so Ann, let's we'll get it up to now. Ann, Tom, and me will talk on this.
Sure.
First 7-inch, fire.
Fuck it. I really like all of their releases.
Do you like their demo?
No.
Yeah,
It
the
was a little
demos.
too messy.
I know, and there was people. I remember I was on tour with some young. We were fucking 17, 18, and they're like, the demo. I hate it. I was like, this sucks. I don't like it.
But even at the time, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Well,
Like, there was
and
something
it was
to it.
different. But then
Yeah.
the 7-inch came out. I was like, oh shit, fire! And and live shows immediately there. It's fire. They do that. By the time the second 7-inch comes out, they're fucking big.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Absolutely.
fucking big.
Like-
probably the biggest band in hardcore already.
Like,
right there.
I remember seeing them, like, they would definitely have, like, a Boston road trip to, like, CB's.
Yep.
And it would just be madness. We were just talking about this. I feel like at one point they came down to play, like, a Mouthpiece reunion.
Yep, they did.
And-
December 2000.
Mouthpiece played to fucking crickets.
I
Because
sang
it
the-
was a fucking bloodbath. I think it was Ann and Bane and Mental.
It was Tear It Up opened the show.
Sure.
There might have been one other band, Bane, AN, Mouthpiece. And yeah, I sang the Project X cover for Mouthpiece at that show.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
It's okay. It was cool. It was very
I mean, at
cool,
the time,
actually.
sure, yeah.
But you got an Instagram and Mouthpiece?
We'll get into it.
All right.
Yeah.
So I like
good hardcore.
All right. So
I'm with you.
so AN was huge though. They smoked at that show.
Oh, yeah. And
There's a good photo. There's just awesome photos.
I mean, the funny thing that I think and I hear now a lot by people that were around then and are still around now, it's like, it's not the same, it's not the same. You're goddamn right. The dude's almost fucking 40. And in reality,
Right.
for the people that have seen them then and seen them now, they're a much better band now.
Oh, right. Because they were a band.
12 minutes of just chaos.
And a big argument that people won't talk about was that Wes, he knew all the fucking words. He wasn't singing them all.
Right.
He was
No.
going off. He was an engaging, going crazy frontman. And by that time, if you just have a fucking 7-inch out and everyone knows every one
Every
of your
fucking
words,
word, then
you
why-
just fucking
Why
do
the
it.
fuck would you want to sing? It's way cool to have other people do
Way
it for
cool.
you.
And I don't like it. I hate a sing along. For me personally, as a vocalist, I don't, because I'm always afraid I'm going to hit somebody in their mouth.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
Or
no.
get hit in the mouth.
I mean, let's just call it like it is. There's people who have had careers in hardcore who haven't put in a lot of actual time doing the thing that they get paid on paper to do. You know what I mean? I hope I'm being clear who I
Yeah.
might be talking about. Like people who aren't necessarily even plugged in sometimes. Do you know what I'm
Oh, yeah,
do you know-
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so,
sure.
like, so like,
Sure.
and if you have a crowd going insane, fucking don't sing. You know what
Fuck
I mean?
no.
No,
That's-
and
to
he-
hear 100 people singing or you, I'd rather hear 100 people singing. I don't
Oh
give
my
a fuck.
god! So they're just blowing up, and they got 2 7-inches out,
Right.
and then they do and EVR was big shit then. It's big shit.
Sure.
I think it's not big shit now, but who knows? It's on a different
I think it's a
fucking boat.
big shit to stuff that we would be like, what?
100%.
Yeah, right.
But they still sell,
Right.
40,000 records. Some band that
Signing
would never.
AN signing EVR was a big deal, and they signed an EVR.
Right, because that was
And-
like the perfect storm of them, Bane having those records out, Converge. It was like every.
Oh my
Hope
god!
Con.
Hope Con was right.
I mean,
out
it was really
that
like-
week.
yeah.
And so that record just keeps going up. Their trajectory to 2002 was all upward, all up.
100%.
Yeah.
Up. They hit that name bullshit.
That really
And
killed them.
I had a conversation with somebody because they were saying like, everyone realizes it was the exact same fucking band. But they changed their name from American Nightmare to Give Up the Ghost. And yes, there was an American Nothing in the middle.
Yeah, very briefly.
Right, yeah. Like I printed those fucking shirts.
Right,
they did that for one tour because they had nothing else and they tried to figure it out. And then during the suit, they're like, nope, too close. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they only changed their name because they're getting sued. Same fucking band. So the second album is the second American Nightmare album. That Give Up the Ghost record isn't different. Same dude, same music. They gave people, and I've talked about this with some different people, about when you give people an opportunity to jump off the boat.
100%.
They gave people a chance to jump off the boat and be like, oh, it's just not the same,
100%.
And it's so wild. Because that second record's really good, too.
Very good.
I like that record better, but here's the thing.
I hate the name of it.
But
for them to be such a smart band and we're down till we're underground, it just was like, I thought,
you know
when
what,
I first started
I like that better than the name Give Up the Ghost as a
The band name's stupid.
Name.
I don't like the band name. I thought it was too much. I didn't like the initialization. I didn't like the way it looked. All sorts of stupid shit that doesn't matter. It would have been American Nightmare. It should be American Nightmare. We're down to lower underground.
So here, what you said is such a weird but absolute truth that people are looking for reasons to dislike you in life. You know what I mean? No matter what you're doing, I don't care if you are Ava DuVernay or fucking
Michael B. Jordan.
Someone will find an excuse with something. Actually, they already did when he was with some white girl.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? Like, people are looking for a reason
they
to
want to see
dislike
the
you.
heroes fall.
Yeah,
so
it's
anything
so
you have,
bizarre.
It's so fucked up.
Right,
sure.
and a lot of that ties into the I only like their demo, that kind of shit.
Sure.
Like this old fucking mentality. So getting up to now, their last record came out 15 years ago, 2003.
Yep.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And for them to come back after 15 years...
Great.
With some, let's address the thing that
lineup changes
happened on this record.
Sure.
So without getting into anything that anybody in this room knows but can't say, because I haven't talked to you guys about this, I don't know how much insider shit you have. That you
I don't think either of us know anything.
Okay. They shed the.
No pun intended.
There's a lot of smiling going on.
Guitarist who wrote most of their old music,
yes.
not in the band anymore.
Correct.
Yes.
It's fine. I think the spirit of the band, pretty much the same. Okay, so different. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, Wes is still the focal point.
Correct.
As he always has been.
Correct.
He's the personality of the band.
But his vocals are different. Am I crazy?
His vocals are different on We're Down to We're Underground too. Very.
But like let's talk about this. How long has he been doing Cold Cave? Actually singing?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Fucking 10 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And so I think there's that. Listen, for the younger audience who might be like, yeah, this AN record, it's cool, or this AN record, I haven't listened to, I haven't paid a fucking lick of attention. This is AN's new TUI record. It's halfway between what people wanted from those old records and halfway into hey, this is what we're doing now. And I think the record's good. I wonder how it's going to fit in. I think these songs will work well within their set.
They did.
Yeah, you're right. I want to get that review of the live show. But I think this record's cool. More so than anything else, I was surprised because I think there were songs that were more like traditional, a melodic hardcore song. And you made that allusion to Youth Crew and to what I would say is more like a traditional form hardcore. There's songs that are just straight up this is just a charging, fastish hardcore.
It wasn't
song.
as filthy as there
wasn't some weird not as much noodling and
when people say, oh yeah, there's just some punk. I hate when people say punk because they often don't know what the motherfucker they're talking about. Sure. But there's a couple fucking punk songs on this.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Punker, and you listen to some of the drum beats, very different than anything on their older stuff. I think there were songs that straight up sound more like The Trouble or some of that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I think that's a quick
I kind of like some of the slower stuff too.
Absolutely.
I think it's kind of interesting.
Hater, give us your opinion.
I'm not a good judge. Let's get that out.
Right. If you already don't like it,
because this record. Let me first preface by saying I tried to take the temperature on the internet before I even listened to it. I said, "What are you all feeling on this? Give your ages." And,
I said,
and got 50 responses of people being like, all over the place. Firstly,
Absolutely.
so kudos to the band for being able to inspire a plurality of feelings. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Some people, I think everybody agrees, this is not. It doesn't tarnish a legacy.
No,
it's
definitely.
not.
I only saw like one comment that maybe led to that, but that's 1 out of 50.
I don't think this tarnishes their legacy.
Agree.
I think that they can play shows. So people at home that might, maybe you're not as inside on this. You can tank your fucking touring business by putting out a new record. You know what I mean?
That
100%.
sucks,
You can kill yourself with a new record.
Right.
Your mystique goes down, and we're talking about music that, not AN, but just largely, we're talking about music that a lot of it is mystique. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
A lot
It's
of
the
it.
magic in
And
the
it
room.
gets diluted by,
Yes.
you had 20 great songs, now you have 20 out of 30 great songs.
Right.
And the more you put out and cut it.
So I think that they can tour with this. I don't think this wounds.
It's not an embarrassment
No.
Oh
whatsoever.
no,
Right.
and I think they can mix some of these songs into the set. They did this at the live show.
They did. They put a lot, I think they opened with 2 or 3 new songs.
Okay.
Pretty ballsy, and, they fit pretty well.
Okay.
They, totally fit in. They have a second guitar player now.
Yes.
Handsome Jim
Good.
Carroll from
Jim
Suicide
Carroll.
File.
Yep.
Wonderful guy. This is the best time I've seen them in a while.
Yeah.
I thought the reunions, they were great. We went up to the Boston one, whatever the hell that was, 2011, whatever.
Sure.
We got to play one of them in New York. I thought they were great. They sounded great. They're like a better, just a better band.
the
Like,
final form version.
The
Yeah.
musicianship is
yeah,
better.
like we at Vitus, a friend of mine turned to me. He's like, they're like a really good rock band now.
Yeah.
You know
See,
what I
but
mean?
that sounds like a kiss of death to me. Because then you're.
But just like you could put them in front
Well,
of
and it's
everybody.
older people talking. If this was a
And it's
22-year-old, if it was a 22-year-old saying
Yeah.
that, you're dead.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
Yeah, no, it was a 50-year-old being like, this band is like a fucking
And
force now.
what he's meaning is exactly like they're tight, and
gonna
he's
put them in
remembering
front-
what they were,
Right.
which was fucking what we talk about, how we talk about culture abuse.
Right.
And I'll make that
Shambling.
comparison. Shambling, but it's got that energy that
Wild.
makes it
Yeah.
feel like this is going to go off the rails, but I want to be there
Right.
if it does or if it doesn't.
And
Exactly.
if AN played the way they used to play in front of 40 kids that didn't give a fuck, no one would care.
That's right.
But the fact that they'd have hundreds of kids fucking head walking and
Oh, yeah.
like legitimately, it wasn't, at least for me, call me crazy, but I feel like back then their reactions weren't kind of like part of like the pageantry. It was just people literally losing their minds. It wasn't like, this is my mosh move that I practice for the song, and there's like, these songs make me have such a visceral feeling that I'm going to hurt my friends and hurt myself.
Sure.
That's the
I
vibe
think
that I
that-
always
I
got
think
at
that's
their
right.
shows.
I didn't hate this. Is that
Okay.
like I know that sounds
No, no,
like
no, I
that
don't
sounds
think
like I'm
that does.
killing it by
Do
saying
you- do
that sounds
you-
like I'm
That's
murdering.
a positive review.
No.
Okay, all right,
No,
good.
do you think this is the record of their three, their material so far that you found yourself the most open to?
Going back and listening to "We're Down Till We're Underground," I found that to be
Better.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's better than this.
Yeah,
but,
It's more urgent and kind of, yeah.
But I thought that was a great middle point between where we might want to end up and where we were.
Yep.
And I think that there's some cool things happening. You know what I mean? Like,
It sounds like a continuation.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
15 years in between.
I think that the distance created some different dynamics and textures when you listen to the record. I think that you can hear some of this. Wes went on and did other projects. He did Some Girls. He did a
stayed
few
busy.
weird
Stayed
things.
busy.
Yeah, he did Colgate,
Exoskeletons, he did-
Exoskeletons,
yeah.
right? And so I think
career musician. Let's not take
Amazing,
let's
talented
not take
fucking
anything
guy.
away
career
from it.
artist,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he's doing a lot of different stuff, and it's cool. And I think this wasn't some cash-in play. I think this was something
No,
that
because they
those
never
people-
would have to put another record out and play every couple of years. People would come out
I
and
think
see
this
them.
was a risk, and I think that they're
absolutely.
probably smart enough to understand that.
And
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think that it landed, and I think the record's cool. I think the art feels.
That's my beef with it.
that. Yep.
Because I feel it's like they
It's
already...
that classic look,
But the second 7-inch had this on there already.
That's
Like,
right.
there was already a record out with that.
And then years later they did the year one collection,
which is
that
the
has
American flag with that over it.
that over.
And,
Right.
and I think that there's something to be said for, hey, and listen, this is me speculating a great deal.
Of course.
Sometimes things within a band, being in a band is you lose a lot of perspective on how people outside the band may see you.
Sure.
So to them, losing their primary songwriter was probably an incredibly big deal.
Sure.
To fans, it may or may not be. But I can assure you that they may have made some decisions that were myopic and meant to say, we're still American Nightmare. We
remember this.
Right.
And
Sure.
And that is an in-world viewpoint, because when we all look at the album art, we go, yo, this was lazy. Why'd you you don't need to do this. This is some Agnostic Front later material sort of shit where you're branding. You're branding, you know what I mean? But or Slapshot's 80th record, whatever it is, right? It's branding, and you were like, we don't need this. But I am guessing, not knowing anybody in that fucking band, that this is in some ways a shot across the bow and a statement from inside stuff.
And this. We are still this.
We are still American Nightmare.
We are, right.
And I think that's how this reads to me. But I don't think that matters to 99% of people.
I don't think so either. But I'll go to this. Is that American Nightmare logo what is she? An angel, wing lady?
Like an angel, some melodramatic shit. Makes me angry even 30 years later.
That is probably the most iconic logo imagery, and we talk about this stuff.
Jane Doe.
It's their black flag bars.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of tattoos of this.
And I don't think there's anything that's more iconic since then that's been come out. So I also see. I think you're right. It feels more statement. So we're all sitting here going, "Oh man, the gatefold. It's only all black inside."
Yeah, that was
but you know what? Props to this. I actually like the record. If you haven't checked it, check it, because 15 years is a long time between records. I think as far as reunion records go, there's only a few in this broader world of punk, hardcore, whatever, where I think a reunion record, especially with that duration between, sticks the landing. I think that Lifetime reunion record, the self-titled, I think that lands.
I had this conversation with a buddy of mine. The only two that came up was Everything Sucks and the Lifetime reunion.
And I don't even...
The Descendants record is their best
It's their best record, you think? I've got a weird perspective on them because I came in it all, and I like that weird era from them. But Everything Sucks is a good record,
right? But they definitely held their own.
But this is 15 years, damn. All right,
right? They hit the landing.
Okay, so you guys are with it.
Live, I thought it was a lot. It was cool. They sounded really full. People still lose their fucking minds.
With it, I feel the same way on this. I compared the Turnstile record to Hyperview. I'll throw this record for AN in there. Is that I'm excited to see how this gels into the mix in the live setting.
Okay.
Right, and in hardcore in general.
Absolutely.
I want to see them. Their buddy of mine's going to see them tonight. They're playing with fucking No Warning. I think that's rad as fuck. I think that's cool.
I don't.
Old homies.
I have a weird thing. I was grateful for the invite to play that Touché show.
Yes.
But because it was a one-off. If Touché asked us to do a tour, everybody in my life would tell us do that.
I would have.
But I get really concerned that packaging things that people have seen 10 years ago or whatever together again, or even if they weren't seen together but they were associated.
Sure.
Is for a one-off, that's totally fun. That's a night. That's a cool night.
Especially in this kind of milestone.
Yes, for sure.
Right, but I mean, let's be realistic. TY just did that thing with No Warning in Jersey, Long Island, and it sold out everywhere.
But
that's a fresh feel. TY No Warning wasn't.
They didn't really cross.
See, I'm going to hate on that. I guess that wasn't exactly the same. But I just really think that a lot of bands telegraph their own demise, their own not demise. They telegraph their decline.
Yeah.
Because a booking agent will tell you. You can tell when something is waning when all the bands that never got along but were in the same scene
are now touring.
And that's not the case here. These bands got along, but I think...
And they're also picking and choosing where it's like, hey, we're doing 2 Canadian shows. No Warnings here. We're going to California, Firebirds. They kind of pick
I shouldn't have said not get along. What I should have said is bands that wouldn't play together because there would be an argument over who headlines are now packaged together 10 years later. That means that whatever they're playing, and this applies across all genres, is in remission. You know what I mean? Now, there's nothing wrong with... This is a thing that we talk about all the time. There's nothing wrong with being in remission.
No.
There's a life cycle to bands, and you're not always up. But I think that bands do themselves a disservice, and this is a tightrope walk because if you're sick of it all and you're bringing out something new and hot, it's possible that what's new and hot kills you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's very possible.
They've experienced that.
100%, yeah.
Who hasn't? A band of theirs,
Yeah. So that is a danger, but the tightrope walk is between that and packaging yourself with something from your quote-unquote era.
Yeah, or something adjacent to you, right.
And now looking elderly.
And that's, I mean, so for that, I don't think there's any there's no ambiguity of who's headlining American Nightmare, no warning. However, you're totally right. And that's something when Sound and Fury came back a couple years, that was my one real heavy piece of advice was don't repackage
the past, no.
the 2006 to 2008 era. Don't, and I think they've done a great job of not doing that because you don't want that perception, just even the optic of it, of these guys are stuck in the past.
The oldies.
They're just trying to, and you will see it, and I have felt it, whether it's Youth Crew, whether it's fucking 10 years ago, whether it's just whatever sound. You don't want to be caught in the situation where your subgenre interests feel like you're walking around a Civil War recreation.
Correct.
Reenactments, no thanks.
Right, but
live in the now. Now
they both have new records out.
Absolutely.
So
and they feel vibrant. Those bands are trying. And they're doing different
relevant,
things. And the rest of the bands on that AN package, they've got Protester, they got Spiritual Cramp. I think they got Piss Jeans in Philly, and Piss Jeans is still
in New
doing
York
their
too.
thing in New York.
But that's a band that I couldn't give a fuck.
Have you heard some of their newer records?
I just feel like it's like pretentious art hardcore.
It's post doggy shit, and I like
don't
it.
dig
I
it.
like it. But
I don't-
It's
I-
like
I-
that fucked up sheer mag. It's all for posers.
You guys are on
Listen,
some bullshit.
you like
listen,
Vice.
listen.
No. I think Piss Jeans
This-
gets grouped in there, but and there is an element of that. But that's
I know
those
very
Piss
few
Jeans
hardcore
records-
kids that legit.
I
like
totally
Piss Jeans.
agree. I totally agree.
I
totally agree.
Well,
and their new records, I'm like, oh shit, this is 50 times more hardcore than their records when they first started.
Well, here's the
it's a
thing.
weird trajectory. they went on.
Just so we're clear, and I think I was clear when we talked about Fucked Up a couple episodes ago. Just because it's for posers doesn't necessitate that it's bad,
Right.
or that it's not even hardcore,
or that it's migrated to that because
Sure.
Fucked Up was the coolest of cool
Right.
hardcore.
Yeah.
And then got bigger than its
Right.
scope.
It just-
Sheer
it
Mag,
just
I don't know.
means-
They originated in that spot, I guess. But
they seem, but that's,
They seem like it.
that
You
could
know
be
what, that's
our
not true.
optics.
That's
I don't
not
know.
true. I think
but,
they've done well.
But the point is that Sheer Mag might be great. I haven't given it enough of a listen. It's just that
I'll tell you in June after I see the power trip.
Right.
it's just that it is undoubtedly, and I hope they would cop to this. They're adults. It's undoubtedly for posers right now, right? Piss Jeans, I hope to God would cop to the fact that
I don't
they're for
know.
posers.
You know what? I think maybe
If
they were
Piss
for posers.
Jeans-
I think
if
they were
looked
posers
Piss
5
Jeans
years
in-
ago.
If I looked Piss Jeans in the eye and I said,
You
who
guys are
listens
posers.
who listens to your motherfucking music? And they didn't answer posers, I would have no respect for
No,
them.
you know
Right,
what?
how many
No,
Piss
you
Jeans
know
fans
what?
are listening to like fucking Age of Quarrel?
No, you
Zero.
know what? No,
Yeah.
here's the. If you guys are calling
Other
people
than
who
you.
don't listen to Age of Quarrel posers, that's fucking a lot of people, and I don't
Then
think
they're all fucking posers.
I mean,
Patrick doesn't listen to Age of Quarrel.
I don't give a fuck about Age of
Which is a
Quarrel.
weird thing. I think he.
Ever.
Yeah, I know it's weird. He likes a lot of the
wild.
NYHC classics, but he doesn't like.
That
But so
is the
here's what I'll
classic.
say. I think if you said 5 years ago to Piss Jeans, to Fucked Up, certainly
Fucked up. If they don't have the
they
wherewithal
would
to know that
definitely.
they're for posers,
But
they're
no.
fucked in their head.
Here's the thing. In 2018, they're not even for posers.
No, they're for the hardcore fans. They're
No,
for,
no, no,
for the
no.
people
They're
that
not
only
even-
like them. Oh, nobody.
I don't know who's out there.
We're
I
gonna-
think Fucked Up is. I think they got a chance with this. But I think Piss Jeans, they've been putting out records on Sub Pop. And a kid I worked with who was 22, Philly area, so there's a little local there, was playing their newest record. And I'm listening. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I go over and I'm like, what is it? And he's like, that's the new Piss Jeans. I'm like, oh shit, really? And one, he's 22.
Right, that's
Listen,
what
And he's catching,
Yeah.
but he, a unique guy. No, like had his own kind of sensibility,
Yeah.
a one of a kind of guy. But I listened, I'm like, oh shit, and I went and listened. I was like, oh, this is fucking better. This is more hardcore, less arty than anything I'd heard of theirs. And
So we're clear. I think Piss Jeans is a clever band.
Absolutely.
You know what?
Weren't they in one of those like?
I'm
Did
not
they do
mad.
a hardcore cover band too?
no, not a cover band. Those dudes were in a couple of bands.
88 something or.
I don't think about that, but they did that grindy power violence band, Ultimate Warriors.
That was
What?
that.
That's
Really?
one of those guys. Yeah.
Okay.
They also
That sucks,
did
but-
Yeah.
that early '80s kind of band.
Jesus. Sorry.
They did the band The Gatecrashers.
Oh yeah, okay.
So that was the same kind of group.
But there
of
was
dudes.
some other dudes in that
circle
that did like 80 some. It's not. It sounds like it should be 86 mentality, but it's not.
Oh,
but it was like 80s hardcore. I think was the name of the band, and they'd come out and do like.
That's almost funny.
No, and I mean,
that's
almost-
the covers.
Let's pull it back. Those dudes get legit weirdo status because those are guys who got into hardcore probably similar time as Pat or I, and like if you start talking about it, they'll be like, yeah, fuck yeah, Ignite, call my brothers. You know what I mean? And I don't know them that well, but they also are responsible for this true weirdo freak scene in the Lehigh Valley that still is doing weird fucking shit. It was a lot hotter 10 years ago.
Right.
When they're doing shows at Doug the Pigeon.
Right.
You know, but they come from a world where like an albatross was kind of in the same kind of circles.
I get like those like dudes as punk and hardcore as they get as like Flipper.
No. I think the dudes in Piss Jeans who I don't know from Adam.
I don't know.
I couldn't pick them out of the police lineup. I think they are hardcore dudes.
Dyed in the wool hardcore dudes.
I think they like mental.
Late 80s.
I think they like mental.
Would probably hear a mental record and go, "This is good." But like,
I'm thinking they're like fucking weirdos.
No. And that's why they were
Commandos.
the dudes. And I think there's this interesting piece because they're from Lehigh Valley, weird isolated world.
Sure.
That got shows in the late '80s. Got Allentown, fucking crazy shows forever.
Right.
You know. But they were isolated, so they didn't just get into hardcore, which they did, but they got into that weird shit. They're liking Fang. They're liking Flipper. They're checking that shit out. They're digging deep on this well. And Piss Jeans, I think, was started out specifically to be, hey, let's make a weird art punk band. But then realized, oh shit, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. Hardcore is actually weird fucking outsider music. More so than arty-farty shit.
So
Sure.
I just want to include that the most self-aware musicians I know are dudes who play mosh music, like beatdown bands, etc. If you ask them who they play for, they are very clear fucking morons. You know what I mean? They go fucking idiots. What do you mean? Right? They know who they are and what they're about, and
There's no pretension to it.
Self-defense family. If you ask me who do you play for, I'd say all the men are record store clerks and all the women are dominatrixes, and that's who we play for, and that's
15-to-1 ratio.
Well, of course, but
I think you're being generous.
But I think being self-aware doesn't hurt you in 2018.
No.
I think being self-aware and knowing who you play for, there's no shame in who likes you. If it could be. So it's posers that like you. So what? There's more posers than there are fucking anything else in the world.
Right,
so fucking tap that vein.
Sure,
but I'm just.
But I think we're missing that the posers they were a part of that big wave, and we'll do the mysterious guy thing at some point.
We should.
But they were
that whole like Vice
that whole
War,
world,
like,
right? Yeah, and like I think that moved on, and those bands are now in a spot where it's like, oh, you know, we have our moment, and I think there is a self-awareness of like, oh, what are we now? And I wonder if they can answer that question.
I think if they were smart, they would say just another band and happy with that.
And I think that's it. But the question you were asking, which is, who do we play for now?
Right.
Like, have you ever seen him on a hardcore show? Other than like say these
small
AN
weird shit.
But like you would never be like, oh shit, fucking Cro-Mags, fucking Piss Jeans, or fucking
No.
You know, some of those hardcore gig volumes in New York that Ian Dixon was booking.
Sure, because he's got a good
because
like,
he was a
cross-section
broad
of
palate
everything.
guy. Yeah, Pat's over there shaking his head. But they were always on that weirder tip.
It's not that. It's not. I get no personal beef there. It's just that those,
he didn't like that world.
Those were so fucking of the moment New York bullshit. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like,
You think that? Like,
I think that was
or weird random like this band.
No.
has
So
a
what was the venue?
Croutons?
Croutons.
Right.
And I actually
538.
Croutons led to 538, all that shit. I actually hit up one of those Croutons because I'm living in California for all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, there's always talk about the legendary hardcore venues, this, that, and the other. And what are legendary hardcore venues? Hit them.
Castle Heights.
Wow.
No, really. Let's go with the trope ones. CB's,
Wetlands,
Gilman
Street,
right?
Fireside Bowl.
Yeah, Fireside. Okay, that's
the
classic.
Rat,
The Rat, like these things. Fucking City Gardens, they'll throw out there.
The Rat.
Right, the Rat. Right. So, but to me, I was like, yo, there's stories about venues. That is cool. Croutons was an interesting one. I think that venue in Santa Barbara the pickle patch.
Right, and there was like the smell.
The smell was cool. What's the PCH club? PCH club? You played there.
I'd say
Ojai in Ojai?
No, PCH club's in LA, like in Long Beach, but it was on PCH. Ojai
That's
the women's club. I love one of my favorite.
So yeah, we could actually do some good shit, but because my content was, I was like, I'll write a story about croutons. Because it was a weird fucking spot. Just some shithole in Brooklyn.
In a fucking apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
Where they divide it up. And it's like, in New York, people, you live like animals sometimes.
I mean, all the time.
Right.
It's a terrible
But
place.
we're in a nice 8x10 room. This is a big room for New York City. Croutons, they had 4 people living in a room this size. They divided up, but then they were having these shows, and they had some big shit there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go to those like Modern Life is War shows, but I'd be
Modern
like,
Life is War.
This
Walter's
is my
playing
fucking
there.
living room. Get out.
Right.
Okay, so I feel
I give credit to that time period for doing some weird shit. Some of it was very of the moment.
Sure.
And just so we're clear, I feel like I'm establishing myself as a bona
You're getting
fide
some
fucking
big hater.
I mean, that was the
I'm
premise.
getting cleared out on the hater side.
you're
That was the premise because we got away from the 1%ers that Bob hates,
Right,
And we're into.
So
He's taking off his Reptoid mask.
That's it.
Here.
this is my general grievance with all of that shit because if we're going to be frank, self-defense family is on the fringe of that fringe. You know what I mean?
feel
Right,
like
you
you're
guys didn't play
Jason.
those shows.
We never invited. We were
feel
never
like
asked to play.
I
those
know,
shows.
and
wild because I feel like that's up your alley.
Exactly,
And
and that's why I
honestly,
see it as a personal grievance. And
it is a
that's
personal grievance.
And that's because we were cooler than those bands, not for nothing.
Sure.
You guys were.
I
It's
saw you at
just that you were
5:38,
outside of the world.
Exactly.
And it's so
And-
weird. And that's some geographic shit, too. I'll
And
be
that's-
very fucking
and
honest.
record
that's
label
why-
stuff?
And
No,
that's
it wasn't,
why-
because I pushed for it and I got nothing.
But I'm
That's
saying, like,
why.
Revelation is not getting a band at fucking.
Oh, they would. I mean, but I knew those guys. I mean, fucking the dudes. I was putting out the records for other dudes who lived there.
True.
And
So-
I couldn't get them because they were like, "Who the fuck are these guys?"
Right. So here's the deal with that.
And you guys should have been playing.
We should have been playing all those fucking things. So if I sound bitter, it's because hell fucking yeah.
Yeah, you were.
But here's the thing. Looking back on it, I'm grateful. You know what I mean? Because I don't want anybody. Now, self-defense might not be shit to 99.999% of even fucking people in our world, but I'll take being nothing over having a moment and then nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because then you're stuck. And I like to do this shit until I'm dead. So like
Right.
having your moment and then being like
Gone.
passe
Sure.
is not for me. I'd rather start passe and then maybe end at like, oh, I respect that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, then have a hot minute
Yeah.
and be nobody.
So
At some point, we will get into the tumultuous times of end of the year, circa 2006 to 9.
I mean,
But
when did you guys play 538, the infamous 538 Johnson show? Where
where you were slurring around.
Yeah.
oh,
That was, I mean, I remember seeing you guys at that.
You trying to kick my fur up? You want
What
me to?
was that, though?
You want me to walk
Oh, we
uptown?
want to get a
and beat-
real axe to grind.
You
here.
want me to walk uptown and beat somebody up? Is that what this is?
We got addresses.
What, because that was you guys in Tiger's Jaw.
Yeah.
And who else?
I don't fucking know.
I just remember so many, like, hardcore kids that I know being at that show.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
random,
that was a
like,
time.
Matt Brin
That was a time.
fucking,
So
like,
That was a time.
What is that? That's around Death Wish LP.
Ooh, I could not tell you.
probably 2011.
I think that's around. What's the first Death Wish LP?
I don't even recall. Is that Try Me?
No.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. You Are Beneath Me. Sure.
The record that starts with instructions that make you feel really bad about
Right.
yourself.
The people have
Yeah.
told me it's my favorite end of year song.
It's wild.
It's so fucked up.
So
I
you,
remember, like,
but whatever.
What
We'll
a
get
dick.
into a quick axe to grind because I don't know how many of
No,
our audience.
right. I just,
whatever.
I
It's
just
some
want,
fucking-
I want to put some distance between me and actual hating because
Yeah.
the truth of the matter is that some of these people made decent music, and I'm not actually mad.
It's just not for you.
But I will say,
my world.
I will say that
It's
like,
not my world.
if we're just going to. If we're gonna fire the shotgun of poser shells at people, that
Yeah.
there was so much of the moment bullshit in that scene at that time.
So and it's hard because so much of that stuff I think was at least that was a weird intersection in New York where they would have Modern Life is War playing, but then they were having that whole No Way Records crowd.
Listen, I'm gonna say something fucked up.
Go.
When they would have, and I don't mean a specific Modern Life is War show or the
Sure.
kids that booked
Right,
it.
right.
When that scene would book that stuff, there was two reasons for that. A, because some of the people that booked that shit secretly liked it, and B, it was tongue-in-cheek practically. It was let's get the band that's popular because we can.
Well,
it's not that, you know what I'm saying?
I think Modern Life is War is the wrong example because a couple of those dudes who were booking them were like
Were legit
roadies
hardcore. Sure.
and like friends of the band, fans of the band. So, but there was some of that. It was just a weird thing because I think there was a lot of looks being thrown at those shows, and I think that's one of the pieces that's hard because they're throwing these things around.
Is crazy?
And like I said, I think there was a lot of cool merit, but I think there was a lot of people who were fresh to New York.
Yes.
Who were, and you had done your I've been in New York and out and back thing a few times, but there were some virgin New Yorkers doing their I'm in New York, check this out, and that rubbed you away because they're booking shows with diversity and mix that your band at the time absolutely would have fit on. Sure. Like fit on in a way that
made sense.
Nowhere else.
Correct.
No fucking where else
Correct.
would have fit in on that.
I consider this like bands like The Men where it's just like, oh, okay, so you like this and you're in New York, you're from Canton, Ohio. You know what I mean? Like you just arrived off a turn-up truck and this is your idea of what's hot. Okay, I get it. So that is me...
grinding axe.
Yeah, but not against anybody specific because I wish everybody involved in that shit the best of luck.
And a lot of those people are great people.
Yeah, exactly.
We've spoken highly of a lot of those people.
Exactly.
So at some point we'll do the underrated hardcore venue episode because there are some cool ones. The legends of CB's are told over and over and over, and it's fucking boring.
Real boring.
And a lot of it is just lies. Some of it's cool. I wasn't there in 1989. I've heard it was really cool. I wasn't there in 1982. It looks like it was really cool. I was there in 1998.
Not that cool.
Not very cool.
I mean, it depends.
There were some good ones.
Great shows.
Me too.
And some like, whoa.
And I've been to some great shows.
And I've been to some like Drowning Man shows too there that are like 7
I went to some CMJ, for those of you college fucking radio shows that were god awful. And I've been to some great hardcore shows that for the first 6.5 hours were the worst hours of my life. And then the last hour was great.
Hold on. Sure. Segue. Talk to me about brunch.
Brunch core.
Can someone confirm us for this? This is for you.
This is fucking wild.
We were blown away by this. I'm going to pull up the photo so I can read the lineup accurately.
I believe Edge Control, who we've spoken about before,
Played the show.
solid band from Syracuse,
right? Okay.
played the show headlining. They might have played at like 11 a.m.
So Up and Alert. Hardcore with Edge Control.
Up and Alert.
I mean, it's so on the nose. I love it.
I do, and it's got this. The flyer's
alert.
actually fucking fantastic. It looks like some weird mutant McDonald's character wearing a bunny suit, X'd up. SXA, Buff Select, ML, Lockheed. I don't know what those are, but Sunday, February 18th, 2018, 9 a.m.
Doors.
This is a Sunday, 9 a.m. $3 ? Which I like. I like that. They're like, we'll see how we're feeling.
And where is this, in Buffalo or in Syracuse?
I mean,
I believe Buffalo.
If I'm going to be there at 9 a.m., you should pay me to be there. It's a $3 ? Maybe we'll give it to you.
So it's like a nosh and mosh.
Nosh and mosh. I did say the only thing missing, I saw a photo from the show. People were moshing. That's cool. The crowd, though, I was looking for that sad Dunkin' Donuts cup being held. I
can't believe I'm here. It's fucking 9:15.
Don't mosh on me until I've had my Dunkin'.
And if you look,
that actually happened to me once. I'll tell you that story if you want.
Yeah, if you look really close, there is somebody holding a travel mug, but I need that Dunkin' America
styrofoam.
I'm pretty sure we do have a couple listeners from Buffalo. Hit us up and tell us about this show. We are right now ardently against brunchcore.
Yeah,
but sell it to us.
But you know what? You got to get in where you can.
You know what?
Yeah,
if you want to make the drive from Buffalo, we'll buy you brunch. And come on, and you can be a guest because we need to talk about brunch.
Right, but if that's all that's available, and you know what, like you're straight edge, you're not hungover.
Yeah, well, listen.
Actually, Indecision is offering to play. I think they got a $200 ? Guarantee for any brunch related.
I mean, you bring the bagels, we'll bring the fucking mosh boards. So.
I mean, I don't even like matinees. You know what I mean?
I had to set in the one for a hardcore show once, and I was like, I am never doing this again.
Let me give the matinee story, and then I want to hear your mosh on story with the Dunkin'. I booked summer of 2005. I got the opportunity to book hardcore matinees at the Knitting Factory in LA, where they footed the bill.
Wow.
They just want something to fill the day. I think it was on Sundays. Sometimes maybe I switched over to Saturdays. They didn't give a shit because it's everything right on the main. It's a couple. What's the Man's Theater in Hollywood? Man's Chinese Theater. It was probably 2 blocks down from there.
Wow.
And I booked a bunch of stuff. Derek Hess did the poster art for the whole thing, which I have one somewhere.
That's
I've
cool.
never seen it anywhere else. A bunch of bands, Mental, Terror, a bunch of the big shit at the time played, and so poorly attended.
Yeah.
Because the matinee, we were doing the shows were starting around 2. You know, I have the live audio. Mental shits on Champion really hard.
We can get into that.
Really?
Hard. Yeah, really hard. It's just
story.
like poor reaction for them because it was 3 on a Saturday and it's sunny outside and you're in a dark club and basically dropped the like. Maybe if we were Champion, you guys would be moshing.
We might come off as old to some of our listeners, but I think Tom, you correct me. I got into this music way after the time that matinees were viable.
Absolutely.
I've never been to a hot matinee.
Outside of like festivals, because that doesn't count because it runs all day. Matinee, no.
I mean, the late 90s, though, like those Sunday shows were matinees.
Yeah.
You know,
And they had some at Coney, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you're thinking a matinee, like the headline is going on at 8 or 9 o'clock. So it's not like...
maybe they hit stage at 7 and you're leaving at 8:15.
Yeah,
so it's getting darker.
Yeah.
It still wasn't the best, honestly, because what was happening was the matinee, people were seeing it and giving the show more hours than it had. It wasn't going, let's have 5 bands, started at 4, ended at 8.
Right.
It was, let's start the show at 2 and have like 9 bands. Great.
Yeah, nobody wants
Not bad.
Nobody wants to shoot. Okay. All right. So we've been going somewhat long. Is there what else do we want to touch on?
How long have we gone so far?
I think we're at 2 hours.
We're almost.
2 hours.
We're at like an hour and 40-ish, I'd say.
You wanted 3 hours. You got 3 hours.
Fucking got it. I'm going to talk on good demo I heard. My buddy sent me.
Well, we have like plenty of other stuff.
I know. I want to talk
Do we
about.
not
I think
want
we're
to,
going to
or-
pause and see where we're at here.
Are we going to do a part 2?
Do we have
part 2.
topics?
Yeah, we got topics. We got content.
I mean, we have a whole nother
We got a
main
whole
topic
nother-
that we haven't even hit yet.
Yes.
Fuck.
So I think we need to hit. Before we wrap this one up and
Yes.
move on to the next, Mutilated Tongues demo. It is I think Brian from Talk Is Poison, his new band. If you know who Talk Is Poison is, no, Bay Area.
Bay Area. Okay.
And I don't know where they are now, but I'm pretty sure that's where Talk Is Poison was from. Dirty punk hardcore, and it sounds like what it should sound like. Guitars are ripping. We'll throw up a link on our Twitter, but it's fucking great. If you want to know shit that's the softball pitch to my lane, Mutilated Tongues.
All right.
And some of you guys might fuck with it. Like if you like stuff like One Word Death Threat, From Ashes Rise, that kind of shit, you'll probably fuck with this. If you like Talk Is Poison, this is a no fucking brainer.
Sick.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to talk on. I guess I'll do reserving dirt naps.
Good
from
God!
Memphis.
Thank God! Yeah, they hit us up. What's up? Reserving Dirt Naps.
Reserving dirt naps with the song "Look at Us Wrong" featuring Tom Ski Mask.
I wish I would have gotten that name before this dude took it, because that works. It kind of meets
It's
my
good.
name.
And Tommy Ski Mask. I
It's
like
They're
it.
hard.
I love that.
This is something that I feel could only exist in Memphis, Houston, and Detroit. I don't see any place else that this.
Otherwise, you're faking that.
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah.
Who's the big band from Memphis?
Clench Fist?
Clench Fest.
Okay. There was another one, was there not?
Well, I mean,
Depends on your.
yeah, because Heroes Guns from Memphis.
Okay, no. I'm thinking of the
no.
Clench Fist reality.
Clench Fist is there. There was also a band later on, Bury the Living. I think they were worth noting early 2000s.
So this is right up there with 3 Knee Deep for music that deserves to have gunshots in the song.
So is Tommy Ski Mask a rapper? Is that
There's
fair?
some rapping on this.
Okay. Oh,
shit,
There's
okay.
some rapping on this.
Okay.
And this is on some, like, you know, it's a short song, but it's on some real, like, yeah, boy, reserving dirt naps, killing motherfuckers in 2018 sort of shit. You know what I mean?
You know what? From Memphis? Makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I just let it live. Their logo is a fucking pit bull. It all flies. It's all fucking working for me.
I'm waiting for the Chirac hardcore band to hit.
Oh yeah, I mean
That's gotta
be.
with,
You know what?
with a dirty pit bull on it, and like, yo, take that victory thing and own it, and just make it way fucking street.
This is true.
Okay, this is a total aside. I feel like Chicago it has dropped the ball a little bit because Chicago had its own thing going for a while. You know what I mean? And it was hard. It was heavy. Even the bands like Weekend Nachos that are not hard or not
not hard in the tough
not
way.
mosh.
Right.
Not
Like,
ignorant mosh.
They were still killing it in that sort of space.
Right,
Everybody,
the Killer, and like
the Killer, right?
Yeah, they were a big band.
They were.
But Chicago seems to have. I mean, maybe every place lost its way, but like Chicago, like the way that some people talk about New York rap, like where's New York rap?
Yeah.
I'm like, where's Chicago hardcore? Where you at?
And
Well, I think
not
Chicago's-
for the lack of venues, too. They have a ton of venues.
Ton of venues.
And we should say that it's entirely
Props to
possible that there's
Chicago.
just shit nobody
that we don't know.
Yeah, right.
No, there's-
well, I mean,
you know-
like we're talking about fucking whatever Midwest Blood became.
Yeah.
Those bands are fucking murdering it in
LDB.
Louisville, and we're like,
LDB.
what? Like,
Yeah.
who is what?
LDB, and you know, positive reviews. We heard a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so hold on.
Yes.
So we got positive reviews. People were like, yo, this show was fun, no problems, it was cool.
Random
great.
covers of
Like,
Yeah.
tertiary bands from me.
My insider was like a 45-year-old who was there, who's
Why?
who's sending me texts being like, "This is insane. I've never seen no shit like this. This is fucking insane."
In a good way.
In a
What the fuck is happening right now?
In a 45-year-old.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So my insider was by that scene's appraisal an actual Methuselah.
And an outsider. And I'll say this because we got a bunch of people giving us feedback. I'm not casting aspersions
no,
at all.
not at all.
I don't know how far the definition of hardcore in 2018 isn't. I don't know how far it is from hardcore. It's just like metal, but a little more ignorant and in VFWs.
Yeah, I mean VFWs is maybe the actual fucking
distinction,
delineation,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like is like, oh, do you play Elks Lodges or do you play pay-to-play clubs?
That's
Like,
right,
and
right.
that might.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And I think that's where we're closing in on.
I think so too.
Right.
Okay, so only other thing I'll mention.
That smelled like kielbasa. I don't know how. You don't even eat meat, and that smelled like sausage.
You
That
guys
burn.
smelled my
Yeah,
breath.
I don't know.
I feel
My
bad.
nose is out, so.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot we can talk about, but instead I'll just say that I listened to the new Regional Justice Center that isn't out. Doesn't come out till I think June. But full disclosure, the dude also plays in Self Defense Family.
You'd shit on it if you didn't like it.
I would 100% shit
So
on
go.
it. Not for me. It's like if Power Violence had some like better riffs. You know what I mean? Like more cohesive songs, but only barely. You know what I mean? But still very much in genre. I thought it was the most appealing that garbage genre gets for me.
So I would put this is for me. I think that purists of the whole power violence kind of world, whatever, would be put off by some of the tempo changes. I actually found it pretty refreshing. I think they're pulling in from a deep well of stuff and some noise kind of things being pulled in. The drumming is really got some interesting shit. I liked it a lot, actually. I thought this was something that a label like Youth Attack could put out, but maybe it would get lost over there. You know who's putting it out? To Live
To Live a Lie.
To Live a Lie. So good on you.
Which Bob and I went, oh.
Yeah, but then I looked and I think that he's doing some neat stuff. So
It's also
good
like,
on you. Go
it's
check
also
it out.
like where like Magruder Grind and shit like that. Like
Asshole Parade reissues,
right?
shit
Like
that.
so,
Yeah.
it's like for that world, you know
Right,
what
and
I
I
mean?
think this band actually supersedes that world in a way that makes it interesting to me, and that I hope people who wouldn't normally listen to like Magruder Grinder would fucking write that off would check out Regional Justice Center. I like that.
I thought this was weirdly. I don't like to give credit to but I thought it was above average by a lot.
Yeah, if I still put out records, I'd try to put out a record
Right.
for this band.
Cool.
What do you got for us?
Again, I haven't really listened to too much stuff. This band Canonized that we talked about before the podcast, which is Gavin from Burn and Abbas from Burn, the drummer, formerly of Burn. They're doing a new band. They're doing a 7-inch. Kind of sounds like Bob Mould from Husker Du singing for like Burn, sort of, but with a little bit of like amphibian reptile kind of band.
Yes,
it's
yeah,
weird.
yeah.
It's noisy. It's really good. His voice sounds great.
And Gavin's singing.
Gavin is singing.
Banging.
So far, it's just those two dudes. They're filling out the band. Their first show is, I think, in May or something. Some heavy hitters in the band coming out. So they're putting out a 7-inch, and I think, if I would highly recommend giving it a shot. If that Burn record didn't do anything for you, I think this might, because there's some riffs.
All right, quick aside,
Yeah.
so we can get it. We've all seen Black Panther for something totally different.
Hell yeah!
Good movie.
Good.
Two of the three of us are comic book heads. So.
Yeah,
I have no interest in comic books, and I enjoyed it.
I only liked it for the very small different that it was from every other Marvel movie.
Yes.
And I don't hate Marvel movies at all. I like some of them a lot, but
some are very good.
This movie being different, this had a weird thing. This movie being different underlined how I'm pretty much cashed. Like I really
There's so
on the
many.
superhero.
I really don't need them because I was watching this and being like, oh, this is cool. Oh wait, I like it because it's slightly different, and like that slightly different is like it might not even be enough moving forward.
I'm walking down the hallway at the movie theater to see it the other night, and I'm looking at all the posters, and they're all superhero movies or superhero. It was really weird. Big comic book fan for basically my whole life. This is the definitive Black Panther story now, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right. The best story on this character, well executed, but it is a superhero movie.
Yeah.
So if you go into it thinking it's something else, now it was different, and that's cool. And I actually thought the cast was amazing.
I'm just super saturated, I guess is my thing.
But cool movie.
I'm
Go see
drenched.
it.
Yeah, for a non-comic book guy, I thought it was awesome. I've only liked some of those sorts of movies, like the comic book movies, like the Dark Knight ones.
Yeah.
Just because those are just great movies, and like going
isolated.
Like going into Black, I had no idea. Like I'd never read the comic book, never read behind and they gave you a nice like encapsulation of like here's why this person's a superhero and kind of like where they play into stuff. I just thought it was really cool, and it was about time.
All right, Wakanda forever.
That's it.
I don't know if we have anything else. Everybody, join us for the next episode. You can add us at
Axe to Grindcast.
We should write this shit down.
We should.
Axe to Grindcast, and the email is axetogrindpodcast@gmail.com.
One thing that we had discussed on Twitter today, but I just wanted to put it out there for those folks that are listening. We want to do an episode, sort of where like,
Go ahead.
my Bob the producer is yelling at me. What's going on here?
No, go ahead.
We wanted to get some female voices.
Yeah, we got a couple, but we want more, and not just ones we know. So come at us.
So please, you know what? If you don't want to tweet at us and all that stuff, totally get it. Just email us if it's something that you might, want to come on, talk about some stuff, talk about hardcore.
Fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Because there's been some shit lately that if we attempt to talk on it, we can offer but one perspective.
Right, and I mean, the reason I was almost editing Tom there was that I wanted to... We could talk on it a little bit, but we do want to talk about hardcore as it is now, a lot of shit that's going on from a perspective where the voices are being heard on a lot of different angles,
There's two elements. Tom has got a big heart, and so, like, he's 100%.
Like, literally? Like, I'm going to have a heart attack?
Well,
maybe too.
But you're coming from, like a very sincere place with it. I'm coming from another place, which is also just self-interest of not wanting to address these things without somebody in the room to check what I'm saying.
Absolutely. The same premise of this, of having young people, because we're dudes and we're old.
Right.
Too.
So like...
The fuck are we talking about?
So it's like basically like, I have hella opinions about everything, and if you ask, you'll get those opinions.
Correct.
But I feel like on this particular topic, which is highly sensitive to a lot of people, it is in my interest to have somebody in the room going, oh, have you thought about this? Or let me offer a different voice so that you don't look like a fucking idiot and have a billion acts.
Right, and so...
just to give the floor to somebody and kind of utilize whatever.
There's that big heart. Fuck.
Big heart.
Like the minimum... I mean,
he's right.
But like, I want to be able to kind of provide a space for someone to come in any way. I don't want another fucking fat white guy in here.
Yeah, right.
Quite honestly. You know what I mean? And there's people that have reached out to us like, let me be on. Go fuck yourself. I wanted to kind of... What? I mean, not everybody, but I asked, like, I retweeted something, and like I had a friend that was like, have me on. I'm like, you're a guy and 40. That's cool, but we already got one.
Right.
Yeah,
we got one of you.
Yeah.
I would like to kind of give a space for someone to come in, and if they want to kind of give their perspective.
Yes.
Not necessarily about, like, the abuse allegations and all that sort of stuff, but just, like, their spot in punk and hardcore.
Well,
and their exploitation, like, their experience.
And because we talk about hardcore and what's going on right now, it almost feels inauthentic to not talk about the fact that, hey, in a way that it hasn't been done before, people are being fucking called out.
Motherfuckers are getting called out, and it's about goddamn time.
On real shit. On shit that's like, yo, this isn't cool. And to be very honest, That wasn't happening 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
It wasn't happening
5 years ago.
Right, it wasn't happening. And I'm with it, and I think it's cool, but I want to get some other opinions. Because, yeah, we have opinions. We want to talk on it. But, again, in the same way, we want to be able to be checked in a real-life setting. We want to have a conversation about these things. And it doesn't feel right.
We want to step away from the conversation.
Yeah, and it just feels... It would feel fucking weird to just sit here and pontificate on it, just the three of us, without genuine other opinions. I've had a lot of talks with my partner who had amazing perspective on this as a 31-year-old, still loves hardcore, straight edge, vegetarian, the whole thing, who had her opinions. I'd love to have her on. My 4-year-old son, Easton, doesn't really have that many opinions on this yet.
Is that right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Is that right?
But I really do, I think that's something that's really cool to talk about and to have a fucking open conversation. You know, it's funny because we're now beyond our exits on this, but you know, we're looking to do an episode about bands who are kind of written out of history, and one of those bands is Champion. And that shit's all real public, that Jim Champion stuff. And that dude is a dude who was around. I think at least a couple of us knew him.
I knew him well, yeah. I mean, obviously not as well as I thought, but I did, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think these things shouldn't be something we can't talk about in an open way if we're being honest and fucking being thoughtful about it.
Right.
But in a way that we're not afraid to talk about it. I
Right,
think
and
these
know
are
when
cool
to shut
things.
the fuck up and let people talk.
Yeah, I just don't. You guys are on some like real progressive shit. I just don't want to get fucking murdered out here.
No,
So
I want to
whatever.
provide whatever space that we do have for people.
No,
to kinda come
also
out.
not for nothing.
Yeah,
this is,
you're a nicer person than you, I think.
Not for nothing.
Yeah,
this takes
dude.
place in New York,
Yes.
and if we're to be, my experience in New York has always, and maybe it's just the shows that I went to, have always been fairly representative crowds, like diverse crowds.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's not everywhere.
Not
No,
everywhere at all.
But that's New York. And with that in mind, I would almost, like, aside from all the very nice things that you said that are true,
Yes.
I also think that it would be representative of the actual space that we're in to have some different voices.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
right. Exactly.
100%. So reach out to us in private if that's something that
Yeah, if you got
want
something to
do.
say, if you got a perspective.
Private, public, get at us. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much. This has been Axe to Grind.
We
Thank
love you.
you. Thank
Embrace
you.
change.
Oh, wow.
Yes.